Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome, everyone. You are tuned into the Morning Woodward Show on Woodward Sports, featured on the Roar at 93.5 FM and 99.1 FM and 94.7 HD2. Happy Friday, you guys. You've made it to the end of the week, and Halloween is coming. I don't even know if you guys can tell. Probably not. I have my cheer skirt on, and I'm dressed as an attempt of a Lions 80s cheerleader. They didn't exist, so this is my random rendition of it, and Adam is dying in the corner. But the Lions cheerleaders didn't even exist till 2016, fun fact. So this costume is completely made up. My boy Jeff kind of trying to dress up. He kind of went with the frat move of a jersey over the sweatshirt, but I appreciate it. Adam was supposed to dress up and didn't. He said he was going to come as a Lions fan with 0-17 written on his face and a clown nose. So kind of happy that that didn't happen, but also upset that he's not dressed up at all whatsoever. Where is the Halloween spirit, Adam Baydoun?
I'm glad I got the memo.
Fish. I wanted to dress you up as a fish. I wanted to put scales on your face.
At 7:45?
Yeah. You're going to defend yourself?
So I wanted to come dressed up today. I'm sorry. I was supposed to dress up as A, Martha Ford, or B, a Lions fan. I was trying, but unfortunately I didn't get out of here till like late.
You didn't try at all.
Sorry, everybody. What's up, Kennedy? What do we got? And I was dying.
Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah. I know, the little
I couldn't stop
cough attack.
coughing.
Rona. No, just kidding.
No.
This is the ghost of the Fords trying to end you.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
Probably.
was.
All right.
Even
What?
maybe Monday I'll dress up as Martha Ford. We'll see.
I would love that.
I'll come
I
in
would
with my
love
shades.
that. Yep.
And I'll just like sit here and reek of loserness for like
Oh, jeez.
2 hours. It'll be great.
Speaking of losers, much like the Lions, the Pistons are the only winless team in the NBA. Womp womp. They took on the 76ers last night to wrap up their road trip, but lost 110-102. Super unfortunate. They looked a little rocky in the first half, and then they kind of came back in the fourth to try to come up on that 22-point deficit. Couldn't get it done, but, you know, the effort was there. But, Jeff, your takeaways from last night?
Well, we talk about this with all teams. I mean, Detroit Lions, when you're a team that isn't very talented, or just a young team for that matter, your margin of error shrinks extremely. And if you have the Detroit Pistons, you're going against a playoff team in Philadelphia, and when you shoot 70% from the free throw line compared to Philadelphia's 91%, you're going to lose the game. I mean, they lost by 8. If you're a team who already struggles to make baskets, I mean, they shot, 40% to Philly's 50. You have to make your free throws. You have to make your free throws. And the Pistons coming down late in the game, yes, they made a run in the fourth quarter, made it closer, and yes, Sadiq Bey looked good. But this team still has a glaring issue. I mean, they lack size. They really do. And Kelly Olynyk off the bench is really their only 7-footer, true 7-footer, and he's not really your go-to defensive big. So Isaiah Stewart last night, I mean, there's not much you can do. I mean, you're going against Joel Embiid, one of the most physically imposing 7-foot big men in this league, and they just dominated him on the rebounds defensively. And that's going to add up. I mean, you lose the rebound battle, you shoot 70% from the free throw line, and they lose by 8. I mean, it made sense, but this is stuff they're going to have to correct over time, and it kind of shows. I mean, through these 4 stretch of games, I mean, they're 0-4, they're winless, so we know how that feels, winless through a couple games of the season, and they miss Cade. I mean, we don't even know what Cade is actually on an NBA regular season floor, but all I know is this. They need a playmaker bad, and they need someone who can draw attention, because Jeremy Grant last night didn't play well. Yeah, he played well defensively. I mean, he had 4 blocks, but if Jeremy Grant's your go-to guy, you're not going to win very many nights. And you need guys like Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey. Like last night, Sadiq Bey being the leading scorer, that has to happen, man. And you got to hit your free throws. Got to hit your free throws. So what I took from last night, I mean, I'm not surprised. Philly's a good team. I mean, even without Ben Simmons, they're a good team. And the Pistons played hard really towards the end of the game, and they kind of kept it close in the first quarter, where they was 22-21 in the first quarter. But other than that, I mean, this is stuff over time the Pistons are going to have to... I mean, you can't fix size. I mean, you can't fix the fact that we don't have any true, really 7-footers. I mean, the Philadelphia had 9 blocks that game. 6 of them coming from non-centers. Like, think about that. Like, guys that are 6'5" to 6'7" are just blocking the hell out of this team. So, That's something they're going to have to address. I think over time, size is going to hurt them, but at the same time, it comes down to just the fundamentals. Hit your free throws, and they did a good job not turning the ball over. I mean, they had 14 turnovers to Philly's 21, but they still lost the game, so it doesn't matter. I mean, there's other areas they got to be better in, and I think they will. So what I took from last night, it is what it is. I think the Pistons are going to get their string of wins maybe towards the late in the season. I mean, I'm not changing my over 25 wins. I'll stick with it, but I think this team's going to have to improve as the games go on. I mean, they're not going to start hot like the Wings are doing right now. They're complete in an opposite spectrum. I mean, they need Cade Cunningham. They need a lot of things to get better. So that's what I took from last night. I mean, the Pistons are 0-4. Doesn't surprise me a whole lot. I mean, they have the first couple games of the schedule. I did not favor them in any of the games, and they've lost all of them. So we'll see, though. I still have them at over 25 wins, and that's what I took from last night.
Well, look, I mean, free throws cost them. They played a pretty good fourth quarter. I think that was their best quarter, was in the fourth quarter team, or game high 35 points total for the team.
Yeah.
Saddiq Bey is improving. He's one of probably the only guys on the roster right now taking that next step. And that's really good. It's really important that Saddiq Bey does it. How they look on Saturday with Cade, hopefully, I think that's going to tell you everything on how the season is going to play out. Mm-hmm. These first 4 games, I mean, it's an 82-game schedule. Nothing really to worry about, but I think the biggest takeaway was rebounding. They don't really rebound effectively.
Yeah.
I mean, they get the easy boards, but they're not getting putback opportunities. Isaiah Stewart finished with 3 rebounds.
Joel kept him off the glass.
Joel, what, 18?
Yeah.
Well, that's problematic because, to be honest, there's about 2 or 3 teams in the East that can probably do that to you. The Bucks, the Sixers, and let me think of the other one. I want to say Miami can.
You could do Miami too. Bam Adebayo could do that very well.
So you need to rebound better.
Yep.
And again, early on in the season, you're not going to walk away with too many bad things to say. But Killian Hayes, finally, 9 points. I'll take it. I believe 4 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yeah.
Good. Way to be a contributor to the basketball team. I mean, I think the person that's impressed most, you've already nailed it on the head. It's Saddiq Bey. And you already talked about Cade Cunningham. When he comes back, they look like they need him. And I think they do. I think they need somebody of his caliber. I think a guy that can get you 20, but when it's not his night, can probably dish out 7, 8, 9 assists.
Right.
And still have a positive impact on the game. I think that's what Cade Cunningham brings to this team. We'll find out by Saturday. Kennedy, what'd you think of Jeff Swag today? Is that a Killian Hayes jersey?
You know what? I am.
It's like a
look at the
frat bro.
Killian Hayes.
I couldn't tell. I was going for Rodney Stuckey, man.
I got it right at when we drafted him. Now I need a Lucas Raymond jersey.
But why? But never mind. Never
what?
Mind. Never mind.
Say it.
What, I invest in it?
No.
Because, well, it turns out, Adam, if you think about it, if he's a bust, I have a jersey anyway. So I'd be like, hey, remember this? Remember this guy? We took this guy seventh overall, remember?
I love the optimism.
No, but
so what you're telling me is I should keep a Jared Goff jersey.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. But I want to say this real quick, too. Isaiah Stewart, I love this guy, and everyone reminds him. He's got a Ben Wallace, kind of reminds you of him a little bit. 6'8", 6'9", physical. I mean, he can rebound like a beast. But last night, like you said, he gets exposed. I mean, just 7-footers. I think his future's at the power forward position, and you got to get a guy. I mean, people say Luke Garza's that 5. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think Luke Garza's that 5.
If he's a 5, that means he turns out to be a 60% version of Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
That's your best case scenario, which I don't know. That seems a bit of a stretch for a second rounder.
Yeah.
But then again, Jokic was a second rounder. We'll see.
So they need size. That's what I took from it. But
all right, you guys. Coming up next, we got to recap what happened last night against when the Cardinals took on the Packers. Interesting game. Not as high scoring as I thought, but I knew it was going to be close. I was right in that aspect. We'll talk about it up here next. But first, Northwestern Tech.
Well, hopefully Killian Hayes works out. But if he does not, I have a suggestion for him. It's Northwestern Tech, because you can start a new career in an industry that is always essential. It's the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
You'll be dying to get your hands on Papa Romano's gruesome twosome. This spectacular deal gets you 2 large, 1-topping pizzas for a limited time for $19.99. Order now at paparomanos.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
much for being tuned into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. As promised last night, both the Packers and Cards are now sitting at 7-1 because the Cardinals lost to the Packers just barely 24-21. Adam, your takeaways from last night's game. I know you took the Packers money line, so let's go, baby.
Look, first, as a betting person, I was very happy. I told you guys, take the Packers money line, and let's be honest, guys. Whenever you can get one of the best quarterbacks at a money line in the underdog range, you take it. You'd be a fool not to take it. So, of course, not only did I bet the Packers, I also sat up here and argued with you that the Packers would win this game, even if they were undermanned. Again, you have to go back to Matt LaFleur's recent history with the Packers. 13-3 his first 2 seasons. They're now sitting comfortably at 7-1.
Yep.
But more importantly, whenever they've been undermanned without an Aaron Jones, without a Devontae Adams, over the last 2 seasons, they've won every game. And they've managed and found a way to move the ball down the field, which is what they did last night. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't explosive, dynamic. It wasn't anything flashy. It wasn't anything that would have you jump off the screen. But they ran the ball effectively with A.J. Dillon. They ran the ball effectively with Aaron Jones late in the game.
Yep.
They were able to hit quick out routes that would set them up for 2nd and 6, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, and they were able to convert all game. And then, of course, come red zone time, Randall Cobb, of course. GM Aaron Rodgers himself signed him. Randall Cobb showed up in the red zone and grabbed 2 very, very important touchdown catches late. I want to say, late 3rd quarter?
Yeah.
Was the second one, and then the first one came early first half. But still, regardless, the Aaron Jones touchdown, I have a problem with. I didn't see, concrete, I'm 100% certain evidence that it should have been turned back. Now, maybe I'm biased because I had a bet that Aaron Jones would score 2 touchdowns. That may be the case.
Yeah.
But beyond that, the rules are, it has to be inconclusive. It has to be 100% surefire, no doubt, for us to overturn this. And, to be fair, they did overturn it. And the Cardinals, I can't believe it. They made a defensive stop. They drove down the field, but then, of course, the Packers walked away with a late victory.
Yeah.
Great heads-up play by the corner. A.J. Green and Kyler Murray weren't on the same page. And Kyler Murray, you know what? You suck, man. And I'm going to tell you suck, not because you're not a very good quarterback in the NFL. Okay. It's because you're on my fantasy team, and you gave me 9 points. The things I want to say about you this morning, I can't say on it.
He already got it out.
All right? I vented my frustration from last night to this morning with you. Unacceptable, but I'm a human, and I'm willing to give you a second chance. So I'm not gonna drop you, and I'm not gonna trade your ass. So let's move on from this 9-point performance, Kyler, and let's try to have a better season, because you already cost me the whole week. All right, you ruined my Sunday. All right, you ruined my Sunday. So, overall, it was a mixed emotions night for me on Thursday night. I won a lot of money, and Kyler Murray gave me 2 middle fingers.
Well, you know what? I'm glad. I'm actually not mad he gave you 2 middle fingers because I'm playing him in fantasy. So you know what? Kyler Murray, give Adam all the middle fingers
why didn't you tell me you were going up against him? Maybe I would have thought, you know what? I don't want to screw Jeff over. Maybe I'll just bench him. Come on.
But if he goes off, you look at me like, you damn.
I know. No, I mean, honestly... They scored 3 touchdowns. He wasn't responsible for one of them.
I know, which is surprising.
What are the odds, right?
Yeah.
Before the PCL injury, which is extremely nerve-wracking. I mean, they were moving the ball, pretty okay in the second half. It was pretty fluid, but Chase Edmonds and James Conner were running in all the touchdowns. So, from a fantasy perspective, that kind of bites you. But, I'm not going to give up hope on Kyler Murray. He's been good to me all year, although I'm very upset with him because I am losing to somebody this week I really didn't want to lose to, but whatever, we'll move past it. We'll move past it, Kyler. I'm not going to trade your ass. I'm not going to dump you. I'm going to give you a second chance. You cheated on me. I usually don't give people who cheat on me a second chance, but for you, I'm going to do it. Fair? Everybody deserves a second chance, right? Right, Kennedy?
Yeah, for sure. Not everyone, but most.
Well, I think Kyler Murray does, right?
I think players can get second chances.
He looks like a little Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I was in the same boat. I was really mad at Patrick Mahomes last week as an owner of Patrick Mahomes, and I was I almost got rid of him, but I think it was you. You said hang on to him, Kennedy. But if it doesn't pay off, I'm also
all right. There's a
blaming
jackass in the chat. I hope all of you treat him with nothing but disrespect.
Ooh,
this is the
Joaquin?
guy I'm playing this week in fantasy. You know what? Kyler's doing great, buddy. I can't say what I want to say to you right now, so I'll just say it off air during a break. I'll send you a voice note. But what, Jeff, talk about the game. I don't want to talk about Kyler Murray anymore. I'm so frustrated right now. 9 points from my freaking quarterback, who was projected at 29. I could have started David Blau and gotten more.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
No,
man.
honestly. And you know what? Me and Wasim were on the same page. I mean, we're both against Kyler Murray, so you know what? It's a good feeling today. But the Packers got a win yesterday by doing one of two things. They controlled time of possession. They had double the time of possession in Arizona. They had 37 minutes to Arizona's 22. They were just elongating their drives. I mean, you saw Aaron Rodgers. They had like a 15-play drive. I mean, they just did a good job of keeping, Kyler Murray off the field. And when he was on the field, they turned the ball over 3 times, and he wasn't responsible for a single touchdown, like Adam just alluded to. So it was a weird game for Arizona. I mean, up until the last, the last like 2 minutes of the game when Arizona was in their end zone and they were able to go pretty much 99 yards all the way down the field before throwing a turnover. What an ending. I mean, Kyler Murray was moving the ball up the field. It looked like Minnesota versus the Lions when they were trying to get a field goal, moving the ball up the field effortlessly. And then all it took was an A.J. Green not expecting the ball to go to him. I don't know. But it resulted in a Rajul Douglas turnover, which was very impressive from him. But the Arizona Cardinals were bound to fall. I mean, we talked about this earlier. Against Minnesota, if Minnesota hits that field goal from 30-something yards, they're already 7-1, or so it changes. They're 6-1. So
okay, so that's the thing with Arizona all year, and I told you this was a statement game.
Yeah.
If they won this game, I would shut the hell up and I would stop complaining about the Arizona Cardinals. But let's backtrack. Minnesota, you brought it up, correct?
Yep.
Jacksonville. Their best performance was against the Rams, but even Houston, to an extent.
And the Titans.
They came out slow. But the Titans are a good football team, so I'm kind of going to let it slide, but still. And then, of course, on Thursday night at home against a team that is completely decimated on offense, you couldn't get it going enough to. I mean, honestly, this is a team that should have gotten anywhere from 28 to 31 points minimum this game, and they walked away with 21, and they lost. Good for the Packers. Packers are legit.
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
and Tunyon
when are we
went down.
going to talk about Matt LaFleur in that conversation of the Sean McVays, your those young up and coming coaches that are just delivering every year?
Yep.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan, as good as he is. And yes, he's dealt with injuries, but I don't still. This guy is basically he's on a whole new level. I mean, I got to give him so much respect. Packers aren't going anywhere with this guy as their head coach. 13-3, year 1, NFC Championship appearance. 13-3, year 2, NFC Championship appearance. Jeff, what are they doing right now? 7-1.
That's ridiculous.
Top the NFC. Packers.
And
give yourselves a round of applause.
Yeah, I mean, you lose a guy, Robert Tunyon, yesterday. You don't have Devonta Adams.
Towards ACL.
So yeah, it looked bad when he fell. But
I knew it right away.
Yeah.
I've torn my ACL twice. It's the same thing. It's whenever whenever you plant your foot and you just fall immediately. It's one of two things. Either your Achilles or it's going to be your knee. And when you reach for his knee, you're like, well, he's done.
So, I mean, like you said, give credit to Matt LaFleur. I mean, you're already without Devontae, Allen Lazard. You're 1 and 2. And they still found a way to get Randall Cobb 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, like you said, give credit to him. Give credit to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he didn't have a good first half. He was pretty much only throwing 50%. He still managed to come out and finish the game. So, good for the Packers. I mean, their defense, they did good. I mean, against a team that's been, like you said, should have scored probably 30+, but they held him to 21 and gave Kyler Murray 3 turnovers for the whole team. So it was an impressive win for the Packers. I mean, they on the road, they're 4-1 on the road currently. I mean, you got to give them praise. That's why we picked them top of the NFC North, man. They're contenders.
Absolutely. Kennedy, I'm sure you saw the meme going around last night. Aaron Rodgers. What'd you think of it?
You guys, I think you know by now how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. It's hard. As I'm getting older, I'm respecting him more as a player, but I still don't like the guy.
Well,
I love it.
His facial expression in that
so
meme is how I woke up and how I went to bed. last night. I was in complete shock. I was dazed. I was I couldn't get my thoughts straight. Kyler Murray, I hate you, man. Honestly, like, you ruined my Sunday.
That meme of him after he got rocked, man, he's on with his helmet half on. Oh God, that was funny.
I have to bet like more than I usually do now to overcompensate for the ass whooping I'm about to get in fantasy football this weekend.
Because at least you can
Which
say,
means I have to risk my own money at the expense of Kyler Murray. It's so frustrating.
Well, speaking of betting, none of the overs hit last night in the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Cold streak in the NHL right now, betting over 5.5. I mean, I've been missing it now for almost a week. It happens. But you got to ride it. You have to. It's such a friendly line. Like,
it is.
You're telling me a game can't finish for... Don't you dare, Alex.
Westy's
don't you
mad.
Dare. Listen, don't get mad when I give you the advice and then you don't take it and it works. And then when I give it you and you take it and it doesn't work, hey. You're betting here.
Every
All
bet
right?
Adam gave me last week did not hit. So
That's true.
it's okay, Westy. We're in the same boat.
This is very true. Well, I got to say, overall, Packers are legit. Jeff, are you going to take back your Super Bowl contending prediction for the Cardinals?
no.
Are
I
you
mean,
sold on them?
I'm
or
not saying.
Do you have questions or not?
I
really?
think they're still contenders. I mean, I don't know about the top of the pack of contenders, but I mean, they're 7-1. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, if they don't turn the ball over and they convert in that end zone, they get a win. So as poorly as they played, so you got to recognize them. I mean, they're still legit, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how this team's going to perform in the playoffs, though. That's the key. You know what I mean? They could have a great regular season, a record, and it could look all shiny and nice, and then they just lose first game of the playoffs.
Well, that's what worries me. And Kyler Murray, again, last night, can't really see over the offensive line.
I know.
Literally, he
I
can't
know.
see over the offensive line. Always has to get out of the pocket. Can make dynamic plays. And can we acknowledge something? Yes, D-Hop grabbed the face mask when he was trying to stiff-arm the defender.
Yep.
But refs, I mean, they were scoring anyways.
Yeah.
Why can't you think for a second before you throw that flag? Like, there's a fantasy owner out there that has one of these guys. Like,
Yeah,
why
that's who
am I
they're
going to throw
concerned
this
about.
flag? Like, where's the kind of like respect for the people that support your product? Like, hey man, put the flag in your pocket. Let D-Hop score. I'm happy. Someone else in the world is happy.
Right.
Like, why can't we make people happy in this country? Why does
not
everything
how it
have to be
works.
so negative?
It's
Why
a
throw
point.
the flag? Why? Keep it in your pocket. That's what I'm saying.
And I was just, you know what, and this is just me being biased, but I was ticked off. They kept giving Aaron Jones red zone touches when Aaron J. Dillon, I'm like, give A.J. Dillon a touch in the red zone, please. Like, this man, and then he got the second touchdown on reverse, so my fantasy league is saved. I'm still doing pretty good. But, yeah, Aaron Jones, I was like, my God, if the refs could just care about my fantasy team, it would make me a whole lot happier. So,
Yeah.
I wish the world
Unfortunately,
worked like that.
That's it. But credit to the Packers. Big win last night. Statement win. They're not going anywhere. I mean, you want to talk about the NFC? It's loaded with teams. Bucks, Packers. If you want to include the Cardinals, be my guest. The Rams. You've got some real good football teams.
Oh, yeah.
And then you look at the AFC, it's like, it's probably the Bills that come out. Maybe the Browns if they get healthy. Chiefs don't look like they're going anywhere. Chargers, too young. You don't really want to consider them AFC contenders, even though they're playing good. But still, it's really just the Bills. NFC is loaded. It's going to be a fun year to watch.
Yeah.
Kennedy?
Yeah, well, speaking of betting and things, I just looked at my fantasy team. Chase Edmonds kind of popped off for me, and then I had Prater, only 3 points, which is unlike him. Some weeks I look and Prater gets me like 20 points, and it's awesome. And I'm like, man, I miss you. But whatever, we're chilling. I should win this week, fingers crossed. But as we're talking about betting, Adam, our friends at MyBookie.
Guys, MyBookie, where else are you going to bet? Bet and visit mybookie.ag.com. Whatever you want to put in your browser, it will show up. Bet from anywhere, anytime using MyBookie. Use code Woodward when you sign up today. They'll match dollar for dollar. Now, if you already have a MyBookie account, well, guess what? MyBookie is giving all users a free $100 risk-free bet on the light heavyweight championship of the main UFC fight. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means you put in $100, and either you're walking away with more or you're walking away with $100. Which means you got nothing to lose, guys. Look, MyBookie, my favorite site for betting across the board. NFL, college football, doesn't matter. And they've got some sneaky special prop game bets, things that you don't really think of. So I would recommend MyBookie. Again, MyBookie, use code Woodward when you sign up. They will match your first deposit dollar for dollar. And also, please, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out with us right here on the Morning Woodward Show on your busy Friday. You guys, now for the talk of the town. Michigan visiting Michigan State on Saturday to see who goes home with that Paul Bunyan trophy. Seems like U of M will be rocking with Cade McNamara. I'm interested to see how many snaps JJ will take. But you guys, your thoughts on the game.
All right, so I kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday, and I said, well, you know, how is each fan base feeling going into the game? And I really think if you're a Michigan fan, it's like, we can't lose this game. We're going to be 0-2 against Mel Tucker.
Yep.
We're going to lose yet another top 10 matchup. We're going to lose yet another road game against a big opponent or a rival. I mean, when are we going to step up? And not just we. When is Jim Harbaugh going to step up and win this type of game? And if you're a Michigan fan, it'll all come crashing down on Saturday if you lose. And then if you're a State fan, I mean, I think State fans right now are kind of more in a comfortable position. They're like, living a dream. Like, holy crap, we're 7-0. I can't believe it. This is amazing. We're playing great. We have Kenneth Walker. Peyton Thorne's playing pretty good. Defense looks solid. Secondary, not that great. But, hey, you know what? We have really great wide receivers. Cool. Different kind of energy coming out of East Lansing than in Ann Arbor. All the pressure is on Michigan. State loses this game. Mel Tucker is still 7-1. They'll drop to maybe 10th in the nation, and they'll still have their remaining schedule. And maybe they beat Ohio State. Who knows? But, I mean, if they don't beat Michigan, they're probably not going to beat Ohio State. But I think really what people aren't talking about enough is what potentially the defensive front for Michigan is going to do to the offensive line in Michigan State. I think that is a glaring advantage for Michigan this weekend. It's one of the reasons I have Michigan winning this football game. I think they cover as well. I think the talk of the town is, you know, well, J.J. McCarthy, I don't think people are really taking this as serious as they should be. And if Cade McNamara walks out there and makes multiple mistakes, or is just like, hey, it's 3rd and 6, I'm going to dump it off and we're going to punt and we're going to play field position. I mean, that's not how you win road games against ranked opponents. Go look at Oklahoma, Alabama, Clemson, LSU. Go look at all the glaring examples in recent history. You don't play scared, guys. And I really think Cade McNamara isn't your answer, but he's going to be the starting quarterback on Saturday. Ideally, J.J. McCarthy walks in at some point in this game and absolutely dominates. But Jeff, overall, I think Michigan have the advantage between the trenches, between the tackles. I don't see how Kenneth Walker can really pop off this game. They're going to need him to. Now they're going to have to set up some screenplays, some dump-offs. I mean, they're going to have to try and get him in open space. But I think this Michigan defense is going to give Michigan State's offense more problems than State's defense will give Michigan's offense.
No,
but
that's
keep
a good
in
point.
mind, Michigan are limited through the air. So if you're State and you shut down the run, it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I have here. I mean, both teams have their hands full individually. I mean, a dangerous offense for MSU, serviceable defense. I mean, they were top 10 at one point, top 10 offense, top 10 defense. I don't know where they're at now. They could be even farther than that. But welcoming a top 5 rushing attack in Michigan. I mean, they've been running the ball down everybody's throat. I mean, they're averaging, 300 yards per game? And they averaged 300 last game against Northwestern. I mean, they ran all over them. So it's a matchup of the ages. I mean, their offense, I believe Michigan's is top 11 in the country. So, or their defense, I'm sorry. Their defense is top 11 in the country. So the pass rush argument, like you were just saying, is spot on. I mean, 2 undefeated Big Ten contenders with Mel Tucker winning the last matchup. It's kind of a must-win, in my opinion, for Michigan. Big win if they get it, because if they lose to Michigan State, I think all hopes for beating Ohio State go out the window, like you said. But I will say the keys for to win for Michigan is obviously you pound the ball, pound the football, and you're trying to avoid putting Cade McNamara in those 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10 situations where he's kind of have to convert you those 3rd downs, or just try and make tough passes through the air. You want to put him in the best situation. Just allow him to I don't want to say game manage, because MSU is a good team. You're not going to be able to game manage, but just kind of keep them with a lead. I mean, that's what you want Cade to do. But get after Peyton Thorne defensively. I mean, for Michigan, like you said, get after Peyton Thorne and Kenneth Walker. One thing I don't know is, can this Michigan secondary keep up with Naylor and Jaden Reed? I don't know, but I do believe in Peyton Thorne's ability to throw the football rather than Cade McNamara. So at least if they do stop the run, Peyton Thorne has those advantages. He can. I mean, if Kenneth Walker, let's say, gets 50, 60 yards, I think Michigan State can still win this game. If they are able to slow down the run of Michigan, obviously, that's the key. You got to. Because if Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins are running all over you, like Adam said, they're gonna beat you and they're going to cover. So, in my opinion, I think State, this is their keys to win. I mean, slow down the rushing attack. I mean, you're dealing with probably one of the best offensive lines in the Big Ten, if not the best, so you're going to have to be physical. I mean, they're physical offensive line, and Michigan State's defense is kind of gets sacks by committee. I mean, they don't have an Aiden Hutchinson. They don't have those, like, marquee players, but they do. They have a multitude of good players, good defensive players that can get after the quarterback. I mean, they don't have a top 3 draft pick on their roster, but I will say this. It's obvious, but make Cade win the game. I mean, that's your game plan. If you're Michigan State's defense, make Cade win the game. That's what you want to do. I mean, that should be the game plan. Make Cade move the chains and not allow him to set up play action. As long as they can control the clock, kind of keep that offense off the field, tire out that defense. I think State can get a win. I mean, it's in East Lansing. I would say it'll be close. I'll say 27-21. I don't know. That's just my feeling.
27-21 Michigan?
No, Michigan State.
Wow.
I think State wins.
Wow,
Yep.
State on the upset.
Yep, that's that.
Nice.
I'll go.
I'm going to go 24-20 Michigan. I
Okay.
think Michigan... Shut up, Fish. I think Michigan wins 24-20. I just don't believe Michigan State can take enough advantage of Michigan's deficiencies. If you look at State's deficiencies, it's really the secondary and the O-line.
Yep.
Now, I know Michigan can take advantage of the O-line. I don't know if they can take advantage of the secondary. I don't think they're going to be beating them over the top, especially if Cade McNamara is your starting quarterback. So I don't see it happening. I think it's closer than people manage. I would even take sub 20 points for both teams into this kind of game.
Could be.
A 17-14. I mean, I'm telling you, this game is going to be super low scoring. I don't see it going into a shootout. I think both teams are going to try and commit to the run, especially Michigan.
Yep.
And if Michigan get their run game going, it's going to be difficult. But I think you got to see a lot of JJ here. You got to see him in, situations 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, where you got to make Michigan State think, is he keeping it?
Yeah. Make him guess.
Even if you hand it off to Hassan Haskins, that split second where the edge defenders are like, is it with JJ or did he hand it off? That's all you need, and that's all the running back needs to hit the hole. That's it. So I hope to see a lot of JJ McCarthy this weekend. I think it's very important for Michigan. Kennedy, who do you think wins this football game and why?
I've got State taking this one. I'm saying
Awesome.
Michigan State 31.
I like it. We got a state room.
Michigan
I like this.
24 is my prediction.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I like this.
I really like Kenneth Walker and Michigan State. I think
I don't see how Kenneth Walker
But
blows up against
Here's
Michigan.
the thing. In my opinion, if Kenneth Walker doesn't go off, I think they can still get a win.
Of course, because they have the deep threats.
Yeah.
They have playmakers at wide receiver, of course.
I feel like Michigan's too dependent on those running backs. Like if
Absolutely.
So that's kind of the. But you're right. The defensive argument is tough. I mean, if they get after Peyton Thorne and they stop.
I'm actually really proud of both of you. I'm glad both of you are going with State. It makes me feel really good. I mean, I'm a neutral, so I don't really care.
Same here. Yeah.
Me too, but at the same time, I want everyone
I think
to
the
beat
better
Michigan.
narrative, to be honest, if I'm being honest, I think the better narrative for the Big Ten and college football right now is that Michigan wins this game. Harbaugh finally wins against a top 10 team.
I was going to say, he struggles with that, though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Narrative-wise. Don't get me wrong, State
yeah.
fans. Believe me. But narrative-wise, I think that's the narrative. Now, there's an alternative that I think is very interesting, but I'm not sure how I sell it. Because if Michigan State wins, Mel Tucker's now 8-0. They beat Michigan, but Michigan always loses to ranked opponents on the road.
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh never wins these games. So, from a long-term, big-picture perspective for the rest of the year, I think it's better, if, narrative-wise, if Michigan wins. But if State wins, then they go undefeated into Ohio State, and they play Ohio State. And that's an insane matchup. So I can make the argument for both teams. I'm going to say Michigan pulled this out barely. I like 24-20. Fish, State or Michigan this weekend? Come on, buddy. I need an answer.
I actually think Michigan State's going to kill Michigan.
Wow, really?
He's been saying
Yeah.
this. He thinks
I
they're
love
going to
this.
demolish them.
Yeah, I do. By 10-14. Anywhere from 10 to 14 points. Yeah.
Okay.
I've
I
been.
Alright,
love
Fish.
you, Fish. I love this room
Not
right
to mention,
now.
I
I'm so
also
glad
think
when
some of the
people
Michigan
say-
fans are cocky. So that has something to do with it.
All right, Alex, you know I'm coming to you. You know it's coming. I need to know.
Westy on the show.
Westfall.
Westy on the show.
Mister, blame me for all your bets, whatever you want to say. Michigan or Michigan State on Saturday? Who are you going with?
Gotta go with Michigan State.
Wow.
You guys, this is like a Westy face and voice reveal
This is
for
insane.
everyone.
Is it?
I think so.
I think so.
He's shown his face before. You
Yeah.
guys are acting
What?
like this is wild
Westfall,
news.
show your face.
He's shown his
There's
face
been a few
before.
times, a few times.
Yeah, it's been
I
a
must
few
not pay
times.
attention. But anyway, face reveal.
Wow. So out of the 5 people in the room, 4 took Michigan State.
Well,
I'm
just
the
wait
only
till
one
the
that took
bottom line
Michigan.
comes and you'll get your Michigan energy.
Well,
What
and
is
that's
it?
what I like too. This whole room pretty much is like not partial to any
no
one
one's
team.
a slappy. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not a slappy for State or Michigan.
You know what's tough though? Like your argument with the storylines, it makes a lot of sense in this. Like Michigan can't lose this game. I mean,
Look,
they can't.
I'm not a Jim Harbaugh apologist. He has failed to deliver what he promised and was expected to deliver when he came to Michigan. Let's all be very open and honest about that.
Yep.
Now let's look past that. What he has done in his 7 years at Michigan, well, 6, but this is now his 7th year. Go find me a head coach outside of Lloyd Carr that has delivered for that consistently for this long. He's never let the team fall to a 5-4 win team in a full season. Yes, COVID happened last year, but before that it was 10 wins, 9 wins, 9 wins, 8 wins, and then a 2-win season in COVID year, and now we're back to 7 wins already. The guy's got your program where it's always been, which is never a threat to really win the Big Ten title, but you win 9-10 games. That's your program, Michigan. Sorry. You're nothing more than that. Harbaugh was supposed to take you to that next level, and he hasn't. Now, can he do it this year? Maybe. But he's got to win Saturday. And I
Yeah.
think it's really tough for me to sit here and justify why you keep a Jim Harbaugh if he loses to State and Ohio State.
Yeah, he's
this
0-2
season.
versus
You
Mel
fall
Tucker.
to 0-7 against State, or 0-6, excuse me, against State, and then Ohio State, and then Michigan State. You'll now be 3-4.
0-2 against their new coach, Mel
Yeah,
Tucker.
0-2
Like,
against
it's a
Mel
bad
Tucker, and
look.
then 3-4 overall. It's a bad look. It's
Yeah,
a bad look.
I was
So-
just gonna say that though. I don't think either of these teams still will beat the Buckeyes.
I don't think the Buckeyes are that untouchable. I really don't.
But
I really
okay,
don't.
But okay, so
I think if
say they
there's
don't.
a season where State or Michigan beat Ohio State, it's this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
But say they
freshman
don't.
quarterback.
Are you looking at this as like a possible? I know we're not that far into
Go
the
ahead.
season, but a possible like Rose Bowl elimination game. That's what this kind of is like in my brain.
And for both of these teams
Yeah.
on Saturday?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the team that loses most likely finishes the year with 2 to 3 losses. So they're not going to be in consideration. They'll still be a top 15 team, but they probably lose 2 to 3 or more games total. And if it's State that loses, I mean, they probably have 1, maybe 2 losses left to get on their schedule, which means they're winning 9-10 games probably. It's a huge, huge improvement for Michigan State. And probably the same for Michigan. If they lose, they're probably going to lose 1 or 2 more, and they'll finish with 9-10 wins.
Yep.
But that will get Jim Harbaugh fired. You need to beat Ohio State. You need to beat Michigan State. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So, Jim, it's on you, man. You got to change the narrative this Saturday.
We can agree here. They have to win probably. We said 2 out of the next 3 games. They got what? Michigan State, Penn State, and then I believe Ohio State.
Ohio
right?
State at the end of the year.
So they
yeah.
got to get 2 out of
Look,
the 3.
I mean,
they got to get 2 out
Look,
of
if
the 3.
I'm honest, right? And I'm a pretty honest guy. I like to think I'm like one of the most honest people that speaks on the network. because I'm not a slappy like some of the people that work here.
Speak for yourself.
But I have to say, if Michigan goes into Ann Arbor against Ohio State undefeated and Harbaugh loses that matchup, I still think you get rid of him. I still do. Although he's the best coach you've had since Lloyd Carr, in my opinion, when are you going to take that step to become a Big Ten champion? When are you going to go to Indianapolis? When are you going to make a college football playoff appearance? State have done it. Ohio State have gone to a college football playoff. Michigan State's won a Big Ten. Wisconsin's won a Big Ten. Ohio State's dominated the Big Ten. When are you, Michigan, going to finally deliver and win the damn football games? You haven't done it. And until you prove it, it's really tough for anybody to take you seriously and say, yes, you have a powerful brand. Yes, it's the Wolverines. It's the maize and blue. Congratulations. Why don't you back it up with something special? And I'll be honest, as a neutral, I hope Michigan does it this year, because I think it's really good for college football if a team outside of Ohio State is undefeated or one loss heading into the college football playoff game. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
I think that's really good for the brand, everyone in general in the Big Ten. But maybe I'm wrong. And maybe Michigan gets absolutely stomped this weekend. I don't see it. I think it's a close
prediction.
game. I think whoever wins, it's going to be close. I don't see any team being able to give the other team an ass whooping. I don't see it happening.
And I'm wondering, too, like, if they lose, let's just say, hypothetically, they lose to State. Do you just, and it's a close game. Let's say
You're not going to fire Harbaugh.
No, not fire Harbaugh. I'm talking about Cade McNamara. Like, what do you think's going to
that's my problem with Cade.
Like, they got to lose to put JJ
You
in.
really got to lose to put the kid in?
Yeah.
How about you put the kid in and you become great instead of just very good?
Yeah.
Because I think JJ takes your team from very good to great. And I think you can beat Ohio State with J.J. McCarthy. But not if that's his first game starting of the year.
Right.
Not if he's coming in at halftime trying to salvage the game. No. Maybe Michigan have to learn the hard way, but we'll see.
Well, we heard
will see.
Harbaugh say at the beginning of the season that they were either going to beat State or die trying. So we'll see. Do or die situation.
I think he meant Ohio State, to be fair.
No, he said.
Was it Michigan State?
Michigan State. He said
He said
our
it's like
rivals and then brought up Michigan State.
He did say it's a playoff game. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm treating this like a playoff game.
It is.
Yeah.
You're not going to the college football playoff if you lose this game.
It's a big game.
That's
You're just not. I mean, you have to rely on everybody losing, basically, for you to even have a chance. It's not going to work. Not going to work.
all right, you guys. Well, when we come back, we're going to get into all the drama. Darius Slay's in town. We remember what happened with him and Matt Patricia. We'll get into all of it when we come back. But first, I need to tell you guys about my friends over at Legacy Partners Insurance. You guys know when you watch games, you're bombarded with insurance ads that promise to save you money. But if you really want to save money, you need my friends over at Legacy Partners Insurance. They're independent, so they shop between 7 and 10 carriers for your insurance needs. Here's what I need you to do. Call 586-209-4106 and tell them that I sent you. And just for doing that and getting a quote, you will be put in a drawing for a $50 gift card. So go to or call legacypartnersins.com/Woodward today.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out with us right here on the Morning Woodward Show. As promised, we're going to get into all the Quinntricia Slay drama, the ghost of Quintricia's past, as I like to call it, to keep it spooky for this Halloween episode. But you guys, you know he wasn't the most well-liked guy in the locker room. Lots of rumors that he was like ostracizing players, implementing ridiculous guidelines in locker room conduct, and just he rubbed everybody the wrong way. But Darius Slay, my favorite corner, is in town this weekend. You guys, how much of like the Lions' woes that we've been going through recently is because of Matt Patricia? A lot of players gone because they didn't like him. He got rid of players that he didn't like. I mean, how far did this man set us back?
Definitely. I mean, set us back. I mean, the trading Quandre Diggs, trading Darius Slay. I mean, trading a lot of key players for this team, but more importantly, ruining the locker room and kind of ruining the culture, if you will. Not that there was really a culture to begin with, but Jim Caldwell, there was a culture, at least there. You could say whatever about the mediocrity, but there was a culture. And then Patricia comes in. He goes 13, 28, and 1. And the little bit left of that culture, of any culture, was gone, eliminated. And Darius Slay, I mean, Terry Foster's mentioned this on, I believe it was The Bottom Line. He did talk about how Darius Slay was one of the guys who used to be like, what are we doing? I mean, he was the only guy that would actually try to, gain and get success for the team. I mean, he's obviously a leader, so he would be like, what is going on? Our coaching staff is not putting us in the right positions. Our defense should be playing better than what they're playing. And hey, listen, say what you want about a man's ego. Matt Patricia has probably one of the biggest egos ever, and you told that man that, what are we doing? And we're not doing these things correctly. And Matt Patricia felt it was nice to get rid of him and trade him away. And that's just who he is as a person. I mean, the guy's a snake, and he's a horrible coach. So say what you want. Coaches that win games, I mean, everybody always likes to say he's a player's coach. That guy's a player's coach. Matt Patricia was neither. He was not a player's coach, and he wasn't a good coach. So what does that make him, Adam? It
makes him a fat tard.
He's a POS. That's what he is. So you know what? Matt Patricia...
No. Take it back. He's not a POS. Stop. He's a FPOS.
All right, I like that. I like the little twist at the end. Arguably one of the worst coaches in franchise history. Arguably. I mean, if not the worst. Just because of what he did to set us back and where... Because we talk about this all the time. Like, when you fired Caldwell, you were supposed to bring in that guy to at least take this team... I'm not going to sit here and say to the Super Bowl, but at least take him a little one step higher. We were already in the playoffs twice. Maybe even another playoff appearance. Maybe win a playoff game. Maybe. I mean, this is a coach who has multiple rings. Defensive guru. And he comes in and we do the exact opposite. We lose games. We get blown out game one against the Jets to a rookie quarterback. They drop, 40-something on us. We get shut out 22-0, 20-0 to the Panthers with P.J. Walker. Like, I can go on and on about the stupidity of those guys in that coaching staff. So, yeah, they did set us back, Adam. They did. Very much so.
I mean, it's not that it was only them that set us back. You have to understand this was allowed to happen. You had ownership that allowed these kind of decisions to be made, and we're not going to ask any questions. This is what happens when you give somebody carte blanche and they just totally screw you over. And then again, I hate to keep bringing it up, but Martha, Sheila, and Rod Wood, hey, hello, wake up. After 2 full seasons, you saw what you saw. You saw the roster getting decimated. You traded away your better players. You done everything wrong. And you proved you couldn't coach. Horrible record on the road. Horrible record against rookie quarterbacks. And you know what? It's okay, guys. You suck, but we're going to let you make the number 3 overall pick decision. There you go. John Smith, we were 1-2 years away after Caldwell got fired because of Patricia and made it 7 years. I don't think we were 1 away. I think we were 2 to 3 years away. Pete Caldwell, like 9-7, his last 9-7 season. I still think you were 2-3 years away because the roster, I mean, Matthew Stafford compensated for a lot of it. I think the team was good, but it wasn't like really good. It wasn't anything special. So I still think you were a few years away. But look, Quandre Diggs and Slay leaving. I mean, boneheaded mistakes. But if you don't want to pay the players, that's fine. But you can't make these decisions and then have scrubs out there on the field.
Right.
I think that's really where the whole problem is. I don't mind if Houston trades DeAndre Hopkins. I don't. But when you have nobody and some dude off the streets at wide receiver on the Houston Texans, that's a problem. Now, if you trade a Quandre Diggs and you bring in a young safety out of the draft and he looks good, well, then it's okay. But you don't make these kind of decisions just because you're insecure, you're fat, you're stupid, you're naive, you don't know how to coach. And that's what Matt Patricia did. He couldn't stand dealing with another alpha in the room. But let me just tell you how it is now. Patricia was never an alpha. He was never a leader of men. And he could never be. because he was insecure about himself, and there was a reason why Jelani Tavai and some of those players walked in overweight into training camp. It's because he requested it, so he didn't feel as bad about himself. That's simple.
Yeah.
You guys want the truth? That's the truth. The guy was a slob of a coach. He didn't treat people with respect. He didn't treat people, they always tell you when you're a kid, treat people the way you want to be treated. Well, Matt, considering how you treated everybody in Detroit, I can sit up here and call you a fat slob, no good, piece of you-know-what. Because that's what you were, buddy. You were no good. And how you even have a job in New England is hilarious. Now, you may be a good guy off the field, outside of the building. You may be a good... I don't give a crap about that. That's your personal life. I'll never talk anything about your personal life. Not my business. But on the field, at Allen Park, inside the organization, you were one of the worst human beings that has ever entered the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan. One of the worst, if not the worst, I could make the argument. So, yeah, they messed it up, of course. But the way you treated those people is, I think, what's damning. Because you could trade Darius Slay, guys. As long as you bring it. Yes, you could. You could trade him.
It's how we went about it, basically.
With respect.
Yeah.
And say, hey, look, we're not in a position where we're going to pay you. We don't think we have a winning team now. We're going to send you somewhere where you can, get paid and do 1, 2, 3 and still kind of show off your skill set. But, hey, we also want to see the young guys. That's how you treat your veteran players. You don't tell them, hey, we're just shipping you to Philly. Goodbye. You're only worth the 3rd, 4th round pick, dude. Get out of here. Get out of here. We don't need you. That's not how you treat your players, especially the better ones on your team. Just don't do that.
Yeah. And
Kennedy, I know you're heartbroken by this because I know you have a crush on Darius
Slay. I cried. But, my favorite part of the whole thing was I remember when the Lions released their statement saying that he was out of here, and I just remember going down Twitter, and almost every single player that I followed just tweeted something absolutely savage. Stephen Tulloch tweeted about time with a bunch of 100 emojis. Ashawn Robinson, you get what you deserve.
You add up all those hundreds, that's Matt Patricia's body fat.
And I was just like, retweet. I remember Slay tweeting, but I was the problem, though, with a bunch of laughing faces. What that really boiled down to was that team meeting where he, questioned Slay's, manhood or something, or told him he wasn't a man. Or
what bothered me the most is when he took that picture with Odell Beckham after the game, and Patricia told him to stop sucking his you-know-what. I was like, are you...
Yeah, that was what it was. You're right, Jeff.
And then he had him in a film room and called him out in front of the whole team for defensively and started roasting Slay. Now Slay, look at him. I don't know. I would have loved, what would have been an ideal situation? Draft Justin Herbert, re-sign Slay, all right? And then you let Matthew Stafford go. That would be a great situation. But you know what? Things don't work out like that. You take Akudo, you let Slay go. Now we have Jared Goff. It's whatever.
Rushman, I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. Guo, I don't know how you
I was just going to bring that up. I'm glad you caught it.
Look, man, you want to blame Matthew Stafford, be my guest.
How?
I got to say, be my guest. I'll let you do that, and I'll let him figure it out in Los Angeles. And honestly, this is what every Lions fan needs. Every Detroit Lions fans, and maybe even the Fords. You know what they need more than anything? They need Stafford to go to L.A. like he has, win a few playoff games, win the division, go to an NFC championship game, maybe even make a Super Bowl appearance. You know why? So you have to wake up that Monday morning, Detroit, and look yourselves in the mirror and say, you know what? They were able to figure it out in 1 year, something we couldn't figure out in 12. And don't tell me that Stafford was ever surrounded with the coaching staff he has right now. Don't ever tell me he had the front office he has right now. Don't ever tell me he had the stability of an organization that he has right now. So please, stop it. Stafford is at fault for many things. But to hold him accountable for an organization that's gotten you nothing for 60 years, I find ironic, pathetic, and weak. That was your one good quarterback you've ever had in the Super Bowl era. And you want to blame him? Because you still got the same people at the top making the same incompetent decisions. Congratulations, Detroit sports fans. You really made it. You really did it this time. And I really hope Stafford does go on and win something significant. That way you have to wake up on a Monday morning and say, you know what? We were wrong. It wasn't Stafford. We never gave him a Sean McVay. We never gave him this type of O-line. We never gave him this type of protection. We never gave him this kind of dynamic offense, a coach that would put him in a position to succeed. We never gave him a stable front office, a stable organization. We never gave him that. So that is the one thing I am rooting for, because maybe the city wakes the hell up and they have a reality check. Because yes, your football team, Detroit, could be very good in 3 years, 2 to 3 years. They could be. But it doesn't guarantee anything. And you have to remember, you've been rebuilding since the 1950s. So how about you hold yourselves accountable, and you hold your ownership accountable and your organization accountable, instead of just blaming one player for 60 years of nothing. Kennedy?
You guys, I'm so glad we're talking about Darius Slay in that lockdown defense. I'm sure we'll be getting some finger wags this weekend. I cannot wait. I know it's not good for the Lions, but I miss seeing this. You know what I mean? But you know who else could give a finger wag if they wanted to, because they've got that lockdown D. Tell us about it, Jeff, our friends.
I just want to ask the viewers, who would you rather have guarding your house, Matt Patricia or Guardian Alarm? And I'll tell you the answer. It's simple. It's Guardian Alarm. Because unlike Matt Patricia, good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. And Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. And Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock your doors. Call 800-STAY-OUT today. That's 800-STAY-OUT today. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, everyone. While we're talking about Darius Slay, we've got to talk about the Eagles-Lions game. We will preview that for you now. The Lions taking on the Eagles on Halloween at 1 p.m. Me, Fish, Justin, we're all going to the game together. We cannot wait. But Dave Phipp will most likely not be in attendance due to COVID-19. He says he's feeling all right, so that makes me happy for him, because those COVID symptoms, man, they are something serious when they get to you. But that stinks, because he spent the last 8 seasons with the Eagles. Could have been giving us a lot of help there. But also we have Deuce Staley, who came over from the Eagles as well. But Jeff, your thoughts on this game?
Well, it's a lot of homecoming for the coaches. Yeah, it's Slay coming back to Ford Field, so it's a lot of guys playing their former teams. But more importantly, it's a big opportunity for Dan Campbell and the Lions to get their first win. And you got an Eagles team that similar position, young quarterback. They're struggling this season. They have a coach who I'm not even sold on yet. Nick Sirianni, very questionable. I mean, you see his press conferences. You see the reports about the players and what they feel about his play calling and all that. He didn't even call plays in Indianapolis. So there's a whole lot of things coming out. But more importantly, you're at home against a struggling Philadelphia Eagles team who's been wildly inconsistent on really both sides of the ball. I think, the Eagles are giving up an average of 363 yards a game, and the Lions are, 383, 380-something. So it's very close. I mean, both teams aren't very good defensively. You could argue the Eagles have more playmakers. They have Slay. I mean, they have better guys that can actually make plays. I mean, Slay might very well pick off Jared Goff, but in terms of overall defense, I think the Lions could compete with them. The Lions' main focus should be controlling Jalen Hurts. I mean, that guy has been no Miles Sanders this week, so Jalen Hurts is going to be probably the running back one. I mean, you got Kenneth Gainwell, but they like to use him in the pass game and other things like that. You got Boston Scott, who might get a couple carries, but Jalen Hurts is going to want to use his legs. So the problem is, what do you do in the red zone against Jalen Hurts? And they're going to have to figure it out. Try and prevent him from scoring with his legs. He's a big part of the Eagles' rushing attack, so it's going to be a problem. And the real question is, after asking all these other questions, is how does Jared Goff and his offense play? They come into games and they go scoreless in the first half. They score in the second half. Some games they score in the first half. They don't score in the second half. I mean, I don't know if I'm getting the Los Angeles Rams Detroit Lions or I'm getting the Cincinnati Bengals Detroit Lions or even the Ravens Detroit Lions or the Packers Detroit. You see, you got so many different Detroit Lions this season. You've seen types of Detroit Lions. So this game, I don't know. I have faith the Lions are going to get a win. I think we'll see another good week. I think they're building momentum off last week. And, yes, there's no storyline like last week. Like, you don't have a Matthew Stafford that you're playing against. But I still think the Lions. True. I still think Lions will get a win, 23-17, real close one.
Okay.
And I'm basing this really off the momentum. I think Jared Goff, he doesn't. I don't think he necessarily has to play his best. Just find a way to get Swift involved. Find a way to get Jamal involved. If they can get in the end zone, each of those guys can get a touchdown. Jared can get one through the air. I mean, I don't see why this team can't get 23 points. So that's kind of what I feel about it. And the Eagles, what are they right now? They're having a bad season. I think they have 1 or 2 wins. I mean, the Lions are really good. If they lose, they beat themselves. I mean, the same with the Eagles. I mean, the Lions shouldn't be favored, and I don't believe really what the Eagles are favored by 3.5. I mean, it's not much. So I don't know. In my heart, I think the Lions get the first win this week at home. It's Chris Spielman night. The crowd's gonna be electric. He's getting the Ring of Honor ceremony. If there was a chance to get a win, it's this week. I mean, the emotions in the arena. You're versing not a very good team. So, no excuses. I think
Jeff, it makes me so nervous. Like, genuinely, I'm not going to put any money on this game because, like you said, I don't know which Lions team is going to show up Sunday. We haven't had that consistency. I think, if we get the run game going, we should be solid, fingers crossed there. But I do want to ask you, what do you think? I mean, the Eagles made the decision to take Jalen Hurts over Carson Wentz. Do you think they made the right decision there?
I like Jalen Hurts. I mean, Adam, he's not a big fan of him. I like Jalen Hurts. What does he have? 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's got a couple of rushing touchdowns. I mean, the guy only played like 6-7 games last season, so we don't. I would argue this is still his rookie year. I mean, the guy. He's playing this full season, and you can really evaluate him. But I like Jalen Hurts. I don't like the play calling. I don't like the team surrounding him that much. I mean, I like Devonta Smith. The Lions are going to have to do a good job locking him down because he can go off, even though he's a rookie. So, but overall, I mean, I think the time with Carson was done. As soon as they drafted Jalen Hurts, that situation was over with. I mean, it's hard to bring a guy back to Philly. I mean, after you draft his backup who's taking over for him. I'm glad he got another start in Indianapolis, and he's playing well. Jalen's playing not horrible, so it's kind of a win-win. Both teams got to win.
All right, Jeff, I like it. Well, fingers crossed, because like I said, me, Justin, Fish, we'll be at the game on Sunday. If you see us, make sure you say hello. Also, of course, you can come down to the Lions pregame show, which I will tell you about right now. I can get my papers. The Lions pregame show will be with myself, Joik Bell, Neil Rule, Maz, and Jade from Riff from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. live from inside Tin Roof. We will be at the second floor, but if you can't make it, of course, you can join us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter for the game Sunday against the Eagles. So come out and win some great Woodward Sports prizes and more. And, of course, the party does not end at the pregame. Join Woodward Sports Jim Beam and Truly Yum at the Brass Rail downtown, starting live at the 2-minute warning of every single Lions game. Stick and Anson will be there, covering all the highlights and fan reactions. And oh my gosh, do they kill it with their reactions. That is my favorite when something crazy happens during a Lions game. And I get to see Stick clip it and put it on his Twitter. It's awesome. So remember, Brass Rail downtown Detroit after every home and away game for the Lions. Come watch the game and join in on the VIP after party with the VIP Woodward Sports fans, pizza, and more for all of you guys. The official postgame for Detroit football is at the Brass Rail. All right, you guys, when we come back, we will be doing a little segment I want to call Trick or Treat. We will be revisiting the Lions' past first-round picks. Were they a trick or were they a treat? We will let you guys know when we come back after the break.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, everyone. Like I said, I've got a segment ready for you guys called Trick or Treat, revisiting the Lions' past first-round picks. Jeff, are you ready? We're going to start all the way back in 2009, and I think this is a good opportunity for you to give some commentary to some of the people in the chat. 2009, we take the quarterback from Georgia, Matthew Stafford. A trick or a treat? Kind of recap Stafford's time here.
It's that's definitely a treat. I mean, he's the
100%.
best quarterback in Lions franchise history. And number two, he is kind of the staple of Detroit. Like Joik said it multiple times, he represents a Detroit quarterback. That not even in terms of we expect wins, just his mentality. I mean, Stafford's tough. He's gritty. He's a great leader. I mean, he's incredible at throwing the football. Just bottom line, you see what he's doing in LA right now. It's being displayed for everyone to see. So definitely a treat for Matthew Stafford. I think Adam would agree with me as well. I mean, but once we go down these lists of all these first round picks, there's going to be a lot of tricks. But starting off, I think Matthew Stafford's a big old treat. What about you, Adam?
Look, I'm not even sure where to follow up with this right now.
Stafford, what do you think? Trick or treat? When Lions took him number 1 overall, trick being like bust essentially,
Right.
or like not a good pick.
No, he was a franchise quarterback.
Treat.
So treat, right?
Yeah.
No. You made the right decision. That draft class was awful. Go
Yeah.
back and look at it. There was nothing better. You made the right decision. You got Stafford. He turned out to be a franchise quarterback. You wasted him.
There you go.
Martha Ford wasted him. Your GMs wasted him. Your head coaches wasted him. Jim Caldwell, Matt Patricia, Jim Schwartz, wasted him.
All right,
That's
well,
a you problem, not a him problem.
we took someone else in the first round of that draft. Tight end Brandon Pettigrew went 20.
Freaking loser.
Yeah.
Only
was a
the
big one.
Lions
Trick.
draft the 500-pound tight end number 12 overall.
You're the worst.
Brandon Pettigrew. Brandon freaking Butterfingers is what you should call him.
All right. Now, 2010, we've got at number 2, no one better than Sue.
Oh,
Trick or
that's
treat.
definitely.
That was a home run.
Yeah, it was a home
Home
run.
run.
The only problem is you didn't want to pay him $100 million to stay as your D tackle. And you can argue whether or not it was the right decision. You don't know. You'll never know. They made that decision.
freaking loved
They
him.
moved forward with it. So
All right, and then taken at number 30 was Javid Best, running back that year.
bust. I'm not even gonna say trick. Just bust. Bust or
Yeah,
treat.
I think.
There's levels.
But that's like
Treat,
unfortunate.
trick,
But like
bust.
that's like another incompetent decision. He was almost murdered on a football field in college.
Yeah, and
Do you guys forget how his head whiplashed onto the floor?
Oh, I remember.
He had concussion issues going into the league, and you took him in the second round. I mean, this is the constant year-to-year BS decision making that costs the team. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, Javid Best is like that. Is the trick that you get the candy, you open your candy bag, and there's like broccoli in there. That's Javid Best.
You're
I
being
mean,
so generous.
Like
no. Javid Best is the pumpkin thing you carry around that they put candy in.
Oh, yeah, I had those.
So imagine it full of shit. That's exactly what Javid Best is.
when you're expecting like Hershey's,
That's just
it's just straight up. You know what? See, I can't say it. We're on radio now. Adam,
All
so-
right, let's move on. 2011, defensive tackle out of Auburn, Nick Fairley.
This was a really good pick. Unfortunately, again, they didn't want to pay their D tackles.
Yep.
They let Fairley walk. They let Ndamukong Suh walk, and that team looks a lot different after year one of Caldwell if they just keep some of these players. And they didn't, and the consequences were there. The coaching staff couldn't overcompensate. Stafford couldn't overcompensate not only for the roster, but his coaching staff. So there you go. I mean, that's what you get.
Yeah, big piece of the
Good
defensive
player,
line.
though. He was a good player.
Big piece of the defensive line. Like everything to Adam's point. I mean, the guy was. You could call him a treat, but like I said, I mean, it kind of goes back to the Sue argument and even the Matthew Stafford argument. These all kind of go back to the same thing. Like, Lions just didn't keep him, or other things happened. So you know what? I call him a trick or a treat. I mean, excuse me, he's a treat.
All right, 2012, taken at 23, Riley Reef out of Iowa.
I mean,
he was somebody else's treat.
Yeah, I was gonna say not really necessarily
Not
Lions
ours.
treat, but good player. So you recognize the talent, you just didn't utilize it. So it is what it is.
All right, 2013, taken at number 5 out of BYU, Ezekiel Anza.
Great pick. Unfortunate how it ended, but my goodness, they found something there. They just didn't cultivate it enough. He was always, he suffered injury problems. The guy was a menace for about a good 18-month stretch, he was one of the best edge rushers in the league. He was must-watch. But again, he didn't have any sustainability to him, and he was out of the league before you knew it. No. Unfortunately.
Yeah, he capped out. He maxed it. He reached his max point with the Detroit Lions. 14.5 sacks, 12 sacks. Just downhill from there. And now he's, 31 years old.
All you Caldwell suckers, all right? We're 14. Well, what's the record? Sorry, the chat's moving too fast. 14, 41, and 1 since Caldwell left. I promise you, if Caldwell stayed another year, if you stayed another year with Caldwell, even when they brought on Patricia, with that team, they weren't going to be any good. And last I checked, was Jim Caldwell hired ever again? Why hasn't he gotten a coaching job if he did such a great job in Detroit? Oh, he didn't, because you can't fool GMs. Actual competent GMs. You can't fool them. You can fool a Cleveland Brown organization, a Detroit Lions organization. You can't fool Pittsburgh. You can't fool Baltimore. You can't fool Seattle, New England. They know. Good GMs know, good organizations know that Jim Caldwell peaked year one with a roster that wasn't his, and they declined, and he was carried by Matthew Stafford and his kicker for 3 more years. Get over yourselves. Caldwell was the man at losing.
I disagree, but whatever.
I got to talk to Terry Foster about this, apparently, because apparently Terry Foster doesn't... No, easy. Don't bring up health issues, my friend. That came out 2 years after he was fired.
What, you wanted him to pull an Urban Meyer and blame it on...
What?
You wanted him to pull an Urban Meyer?
Oh, wait.
And just say health issues?
No, guys, this is unbelievable. The problem is, you know what? Dr. Detroit hit it on the head. You judge Jim Caldwell based on the absolute garbage coaches you've had prior. The Lions have given you nothing but garbage. So the one time they gave you kind of a shiny can that's not that very good, not that great, it's probably just good at best, you were like, oh my God, that was the best thing ever!
Yeah.
But you can acknowledge...
You idiots.
I mean... I think there's a line. Like, you can acknowledge that he's the best coach probably we've ever had besides, Wayne Fontes, but also acknowledging the fact that there was...
Oh, I love this comment. Adam's logic is the reason why black coaches aren't given a fair shot. Listen, man, I'm going to be honest with you. That's very ignorant. Number 2, the Rooney Rule, right? You have to interview one minority. I think that's a horrible rule, and I'll tell you why. Because you have to. Like, Mike Tomlin is the freaking gold standard, man.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy is next. There are plenty of up-and-coming coordinators that are going to get their opportunity as head coaches. That is one of the most ignorant things I've ever heard. And they changed the Rooney Rule now. Now you have to interview 2 minority candidates.
Wow, clap it up.
But I don't like the forced aspect of it. I think it's really demeaning. Like, why? Why? Because I'm Mexican or let me rephrase it, I'm Hispanic, I'm African American. That means I'm lesser than these guys who already get the interviews. I don't like that. That's degrading to them, in my opinion. But maybe I'm wrong.
No, but that's the reality, I think, of the NFL and in the leagues we're in.
So if I'm a GM, I need to interview a Hispanic and an African American, even though I know I want this guy. That's so belittling of those people that are interviewing, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
I could see both sides, because then if you don't have the Rooney Rule, then you might not have any African Americans, Mexicans, or any other.
I don't think that's the case. I think the Rooney Rule in context is a great thing. Yeah,
it's forcing guys that are prejudiced to interview.
It's opening up the league, right? You're going to have the first woman coach eventually. Woo! That's going to happen. It's going to happen first in the NBA. It'll trickle down probably in 10, 15 years to the NFL. Okay? That's going to happen. You want more diversity, African-American coaches? Fine. Anthony Lynn was a head coach last year. Eric Bieniemy will be a head coach very soon. Look at college football. Tons of African-American head coaches. In the NFL, we want to play this, that's fine. But please do not tell me that my type of statements are the reasons why African-Americans aren't getting enough head coaching availability jobs. Like, please. That is so ignorant. Do me a favor. Shut the hell up.
All right, let's move on.
Easy, do I look Mexican?
No,
I don't think so.
Shut up. Okay, we have to get to the 2014 draft. We took Eric Ebron, tight end out of North Carolina.
The best decision the Lions have ever made. Congratulations, Jim Caldwell. You really got that one right, buddy. All right, I can't swear. We're on radio now. Excuse me. Let me just calm myself down a little bit.
Okay.
Eric Ebron. He's not a trick nor a bust. He is a pile of manure that you are reminded of every Sunday when you see Aaron Donald terrorizing the NFL.
Literally.
And why? Because Jim Caldwell, I need a tight end. I need this player. Mayhew, you're wrong. I need this tight end. You idiot. Congratulations. You really got that one right.
Anything to add, Jeff?
I mean,
Nothing to add.
the guy had butterfingers, but I mean, you could see what he had 900 and something yards his last year, his junior year at North Carolina. You had 3 touchdowns on the whole year. Wasn't a red zone threat. I mean, you kind of knew what you were getting. A guy that we know now has I would even say a little bit of anger issues. I mean, the guy gets so heated on Twitter for no reason, and he has beef with everyone I know. So Eric Ebron, I would say trick. Maybe Indianapolis's treat, but barely that, if anything.
That did piss me off.
It was a 1 year. Everybody can have one good year in the NFL, guys.
That's it.
Honestly, everybody can have one good. You drafted him 12th overall in the first round.
It's ridiculous.
That means you need the guy to contribute for your team minimum 5-6 years. He didn't. He contributed one season to one other organization. Guy's a bust.
All right, moving on. 2015, I looked at Adam this morning and I said, I forgot about this guy. Out of Duke, Laken Tomlinson. I literally forgot about this guy.
I don't want to say trick. I don't want to say bust. Not even manure. I don't even want to acknowledge this draft pick. So let's move on.
Okay.
Next year.
2016, we like this one. Taylor Decker, OT out of
Good pick.
Ohio State. OH.
It was a good pick. Shut up, Fish.
Yeah, like this is when they really started hitting on offensive linemen, like 2016, and they have 2018 with Frank Ragnow. Like no more trading the Riley Reefs and stuff like that. I mean, we'll get to the Jeff Okudah in a little bit, but I think it was a hit. I mean, you got a left tackle.
No, he's a good left tackle. I would say top 12 in the NFL.
He had some issues early on, but they were able to correct them, like everyone does.
What rookie tackles walk into the league and just dominate outside of Tyron Smith, Zach Martin in recent history?
I don't even know.
Jonathan Odgin? I mean, it just rarely happens. You give them a year or two, and then they flourish. That's why I'm so adamant on keeping Penei Sewell in his natural position. And if you wanted him at right tackle, well, then just play him at right the whole year. Next season, please.
2017, linebacker out of the swamp at number 21, Jared Davis.
This is a bust. Linebacker 21 overall. I mean, the intention was there. The result wasn't. Bust.
Yeah, he struggled in coverage. I mean, ideally,
he just couldn't contribute.
Yeah, like I mean, what do you have? He had his career high had 6 sacks his second year. I mean, he struggled in coverage. He was slow. But you know what? Wish him the best on the Jets. But yeah, I would say trick, to be honest. You don't have him still, so trick.
All right, 2018, our center, injured center. Frank Ragnow.
Oh, yeah. This is a trick. Or not a treat. I'm sorry.
This is a delightful treat.
Yeah, delightful
treat. And we're
treat.
happy for it, and we're thankful, and we're going to move on.
He's a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is like when you go trick-or-treating and they give you like the full bar.
No, this is like when you go to 7-Eleven.
They give you the king size. This is Frank Ragnow.
No, this is when you go to like 7-Eleven at 11 o'clock at night and you get a slushie with an amazing big bag of chips. Oh, my goodness.
That's Frank Ragnow right there.
That's Frank Ragnow.
Is that what you do? Is that why you brought that up? Is that what you do?
I used to. Back in my teenage years. That was like you were cool. You would walk in a 7-Eleven at 11 o'clock at night with your boys.
Dude, I still do that with my little boys.
Ton of bag of chips, flaming hot Cheetos, and you go home and you just game with them all night.
Heck yeah. All right, another what I would consider a treat coming up. 2019 TJ Hawkinson, tight end out of Iowa.
I mean, honestly, I will say
it's a treat.
It's a treat, but at the time, I think a lot of people were a little worried. I mean, can you admit, like a lot of people when they took TJ was a little worried.
Let's rewind.
Okay.
So when they took TJ Hawkinson, I made it like very clear to like my close circle of friends. I was like, if this guy isn't a top 5 tight end in 3 years, this may be one of the worst draft picks in Lions history.
Yeah.
And fortunately for him, he's really developed into a very good tight end. And you really can't complain about TJ Hawkinson.
No, you can't.
He's one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Yep. We'll see how he does a little bit better once he has, let's say, an actual quarterback. He'll probably perform way better. Kennedy, next year.
2020, Jeff Okudah, cornerback out of Ohio State.
Yeah, I'll let Adam take the floor.
We've brought this up before. We brought up manure. We brought up, piles of what. We've brought up every, derogatory thing you could say about a player. Now, I want you to take all of that, Detroit, and I want you to mix it all together.
Ew.
And I want you to throw it on Jeff Okudah because that's exactly what he is. The biggest bust in the last 20 years the Lions have drafted.
Really?
The incompetency of your ownership and your front office to actually...
I'm sorry, rewind. The biggest bust in the last 20 years, but we
Easily.
had Eric Ebron.
You had Eric Ebron, Mike Williams,
saying
Charles
all that.
Rogers. A bigger bust than all of them. A corner at number 3?
Well,
Who
okay,
the
the
hell
pick
is
was
Jeff
bad.
Okudah? He's not Deion Sanders.
Who?
And Prime went 5th overall. He's not Champ Bailey. Yeah. Only Detroit. Only Detroit does it. And
Easy
only
nailed it.
Martha and Sheila can sit up there in their little back office room and sit down together and be like, you know what? We're going to put these guys under pressure. They need to win now. They need to win now. And we think they're doing a bad job. So we're going to let them decide the franchise's next
talking
10
like me?
years. Yeah, that's probably how they talk. And then we're going to let them decide the next 10 years. And we're going to let them pick number 3 overall in a quarterback-heavy draft, knowing that the team behind them in Miami wants Tua. And then we'll sign Chase Daniels the week before.
I
We're
didn't
so
know
smart.
you've been practicing your Kennedy accent.
I was practicing my voice because I planned on coming here dressed as Martha Ford today.
Oh,
But
that was Martha Ford. It sounded a little bit like me.
I had a rough night. I wasn't able to get all the accessories.
No, I would say it's a trick, and unfortunately, he just hasn't been available. Like, what is he? 2 seasons in, he's played what? 10
He's played
games?
10 of 33, 34 available games.
You know what? And Easy's right. He said Okudah's the candy corn
That's
of
perfect.
candy. And
He
you know
is
what?
candy corn.
I hate candy corn. So
Me
Easy,
too.
you're spot on.
Okay, wait. Are we a candy corn or against candy corn room?
We're
I need to know.
against
Fish?
No candy corn.
Okay,
Yeah,
no candy corn for
corn's
Kennedy.
nasty.
Jeff, hell no.
Yeah.
Alex, are you a candy corn guy?
It's all right.
I need hey, watch what you say. You may not have a job after this. Be very careful. There are 4 people that don't like candy corn in here. Don't be the one that does.
Even worse are the
I'm not
pumpkin
gonna
ones.
like snack
Oh
on
my
it.
God.
Candy corns.
Alex, if I put a bag of candy corn in that little studio, would you just
Are you
take one
taking
from
a
it?
handful?
Or would you ignore it the entire show? You might take one, wouldn't
Oh,
you?
boy.
I might take
See
one.
that he likes it.
Westy.
He likes it. He likes it. All right, I can't.
All right, last one. 2021 Penn Sewell. I know it's early, but
No, yeah. I
trick or
mean, I
treat.
think it's a treat so far.
Yeah, I would
he's
agree.
had 4 very good games and 3 bad games. That's kind of what you expect from a rookie. And let's be honest, his ballsy move against Aaron Donald, I'm sure, made a ton of Lions fans super proud of him. Look, the kid's huge. He needs to develop the mental aspect of the game. He's got all the physical traits. You got to give him time to adjust. And please, God, do not move him to right tackle. Keep him at left tackle. Let him groom and let him become one of the best left tackles you've seen in the last 20 years. That's why you drafted him number 7 overall. Okay? Let it happen.
All right, you guys, we got to hit a break. But when we come back, we're talking about the most horrifying ways the Lions have lost. I mean, it's Halloween. We got to do it to you guys. I'm sorry to bring it back up, but first, thank you, Fish. Our friends at Underdog Fantasy.
Guys, Underdog Fantasy is where it's at. You can draft a new team within minutes using Underdog Fantasy. Visit their slick mobile website along with their app. Guys, you can download it in the Google Play or the Apple Store. But more importantly, sign up today using code WSN. And when you make your first deposit, they'll give you a free $10. Again, that's code WSN for a free $10 when you sign up and make your new deposit. The NFL season is underway, and you can still draft a new fantasy team each and every week, each and every game on the Underdog Fantasy app to win cash prizes, guys. Again, that's code WSN.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back, you guys. It's time to get spooky. This segment is the most horrifying ways the Lions have lost. I'm starting you guys off strong with the one that's freshest in my mind, that insane 66-yard field goal. Doof.
On its way. It bounces off the crossbar, and it's good! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my! Did that just happen, Greg?
I mean, I still can't believe that happened. I mean, you saw Dan Campbell's face. That I think my expression was even worse when it happened, Adam. Where does this rank for you in like worst Lions losses?
It's not like a worse. I mean,
We've got bad ones coming up.
No, it had no meaning. It was the third game of a regular season. And wow, you fell to 0-3. Excuse you, in a rebuild year. That was so heartbreaking, Detroit. I'm so sorry. You lost a regular season game, week 3, into the new season during a rebuild. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Detroit. Really? That was heartbreaking? What's heartbreaking is a loss to Cincinnati. Now, is it heartbreaking fashion? You lose the last second? Sure. But that holds no weight compared to the games the Lions have lost in their history. And there haven't been many, because you have to remember, you had the ass whooping against the Washington Redskins back in the day in the NFC Championship game, and then you had all the playoff losses that followed under Schwartz and Caldwell. And those weren't really heartbreaking because you got your ass kicked in every single one of those games except the one against Dallas where you were kind of called on a bogus play, but hey, it happens.
I'm glad you brought up bogus plays because this next one is Trey Flowers. He got called on 2 face masks that were just clearly not clear as day. He had the shoulder against the Packers. Some of the worst officiating I've ever seen. Here it is.
Called up from the practice squad as well. 3rd down and 10 for Rodgers. Running out of options and then going down. And a flag comes down at the end there. That was Kevin Strong, the rookie, out of UTSA, who was able to come down on Rodgers, but the flag came down with it.
Illegal use of hands to the face, defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down, Green Bay.
That's a 1st down for Green Bay. They were just...
Adam.
All right, I mean,
Two
look,
of these
okay, that was, to be fair,
in one game.
that was a bogus call. That would have been an extreme momentum shifter for the Detroit Lions. I mean, they had played heck of a game against Kansas City already, I believe, that year. The tie to Arizona was very unfortunate. I mean, they blew a lead. What do you know, under Matt Patricia? That's not new. This was really defining, I think, in Matt Patricia's time in Detroit. Because you win that game, you win in Lambeau, first time in a long time, right? You move to 3-1-1, top of the division, everything's great. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't want to go and like try to change history, but that was a pretty bad flag.
No, those are bad.
That was pretty bad.
You can't sit here and say that would have changed the future of the entire season, but I will say it was a bad call. And there was other bad calls in that game too versus the Packers. And I'm glad you mentioned the Kansas City game because the Lions were actually playing pretty well to start the season until you get into the Packers. You're up 22-3.
And then Stafford got hurt, I believe, and that kind of derailed the season.
Then you had Blau trying to throw touchdowns. It was a bad call, but I'm not going to sit up here and say that's the worst call, the most impactful call. But it is what it is.
That wasn't the most heartbreaking call.
Yeah, you're in Lambeau. What do you expect?
You're used to losing to the Packers anyway.
I hate losing to the Packers, though. I really
look at this.
Hate
this is just. Oh, here we go.
Brutal.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys would wish to have that guy behind center, huh?
I've never seen Jared Goff even attempt a pass of that long. I mean, how many yards was that?
Jared Goff can't throw more than 20 yards. I think we can all agree on this.
Yeah.
All right. What's next, Kennedy?
Next one. The Mules' bad snap against the Vikings in 2004. We're throwing it back. It results in a Lions loss 27-28, and they fall out of playoff contention.
Well.
To snap it to Nick Harris. Oh, bad snap. And he's taken down. Ball game. The Detroit Lions imploded. The Detroit Lions imploded.
Honestly, poor Mooch.
You know what Mooch?
Bad.
You know what Mooch looks like? It looks like it just hit him. He's like, wait.
He's like,
I'm coaching the Lions.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm coaching the Lions.
No. It was in that moment he looked in the sky and he was like, oh,
this is how it feels.
This is how it feels to coach the Lions. Now I get it. Oh. Okay. Makes sense.
Mooch. That meme of Mooch's face after that, what just happened? Like that's your like he has no words. Usually coaches are furious. He just like, what are you gonna do? I mean, this is ridiculous. But yeah, it is obviously you lose playoff contention. yeah, anyone's going to be ticked off. So it was big, but.
All right, the final video that I have for you guys, I have to bring it up, and I feel kind of bad because he says that every time someone sees him, they bring it up. Dan Orlovsky's safety. I mean, wow. Here it is.
Two of their biggest players.
3rd and 10.
I think this is one of, if not the greatest play in NFL history. And I love Dan Orlovsky, don't get me wrong, but this is special.
Look at him jog after.
This is amazing.
He's like, what'd I do?
This is one of the best things I've witnessed in my life. I mean, look at this.
He's so locked in. He
so
doesn't even
unaware.
see it,
And
yeah.
he saw Jared Allen. Jared Allen's pointing like, hey, man, hey, oh, my God, this guy actually ran out of bounds. Like, this is unbelievable.
You know what's funny? Aaron Rodgers last week had a similar play, and he got rid of it quicker than Dan Orlovsky. He kind of gave Dan Orlovsky a little flack for that, but it was funny. I mean, Dan Orlovsky, you love the guy, but that is one of the all-time highlights in Detroit Lions, or lowlights rather. I mean, we don't have many highlights, so you could call it highlight. It was just funny. I mean, Dan Orlovsky running out the back of the end zone.
I think it's a great moment. I think it's
great.
Funny as hell.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
You got to be known for something. I mean, when you only win one playoff game for 60 years, you hold on to Dan Orlovsky. You hold on to 0-16. I mean, these are the things you cherish.
I was gonna say that was the 0-16 season too, right? So it was just like sprinkled on top, just a little sprinkle on top. Dan Orlovsky running out the back of the end zone. At least we're not doing it this year. You go.
Hey, not yet. There's still time.
You can't say that. You cannot say that. I'm just waiting for the butt fumble to happen with Jared. Well, he had the dick pic, right? So Jared Goff had the dick pic so far this year. Where we know where it ricocheted off, and it ended up in the Chicago Bears defenders, the lineman's hands. I mean, you know what happened, guys.
We know.
But he had that. You're 0-7. You know, who knows? This could be another year where you just don't win a football game.
All right.
We'll have to wait and see.
You guys, I have to ask, out of the clips I pulled, which to you is the most horrifying?
None.
None?
None.
I'm
What's
just
horrifying
so
about
unfazed
them?
by
How?
Lions
What's
losses.
horrifying about it? You've been a losing franchise for 60 years. Of course you're going to have losing moments. Duh.
You know what's a horrifying like.
You know what's a horrifying moment?
Yeah.
Being a Bills fan and watching that field goal
or being a Saints fan and watching that PI call.
Thank you.
Drive right by it. Like there's other situations you could like
the
me and Adam
Lions ones are kind of just funny, honestly, at this point.
Me and Adam have set up here and we've argued before about the Cowboys, the playoff game and all of that and what came after the no PI call. Like there was other opportunities. I can't sit up here and say that was like the game changer or the game breaker for the Lions. I mean, there's other things, but if there was like a PI call in the championship game, come talk to me. Like that is upsetting. Or the Bills losing 4 straight Super Bowls. Like I don't know how you sleep at night. There's just levels to this. Lions are down here.
Oh, Big Maris said you should have showed the take the wind one. I remember that kick. Yeah, no.
I think the Lions are more. I think the Lions are more known for that coin toss in overtime against the Pittsburgh Steelers than anything else they've accomplished. But anyways, we got to go to break.
We do. Lots of football this weekend, which means we're ordering pizza. Jeff, where are we ordering from?
Yeah, listen, Papa Romano's, you know where to go. This either tomorrow for the first Michigan State or even Sunday when the Lions welcome the Philadelphia Eagles to Ford Field. It's up to you, but I know the answer. It's Papa Romano's. Come over to Papa Romano's. They have a great deal for you. 2 large, 1 topping pepperoni pizzas or any topping for that matter. I mean, it's the gruesome twosome, $19.99. The deal's good all the way to the end of the month. And all you got to do is hit up Papa Romano's and get yourself 2 delicious, large, 1 topping pizzas. Hit up Papa Romano's. It's the gruesome twosome special.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out with us right here on the Morning Woodward Show. All right, this time we are flying around the league. That's my attempt of like a witch joke, but you guys know we do this every single Friday. We go around the NFL and tell you all about the games. I want to start with the Titans taking on the Colts. Jeff.
Well, the Titans take on the Colts. It's going to be probably one of the best games of the weekend. I mean, two teams that we picked either one to win the division. And, you have a Colts team who's starting to play well. I mean, they're what are they, just above 500?
All right, guys, coming in at 6'4", 213 pounds. He's going to take my place. I have an emergency. Excuse me, everybody. Sam freaking Day.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right, let's cover the NFL.
What are we talking about? How much Adam hates the Lions?
No, actually, we'll avoid that because we'll talk some NFL. We'll talk some NFL. There's a lot of games this weekend.
Heck
so
yeah.
We're starting with the Titans versus the Colts. Two teams. It's going to be a great game. One of the best games of the weekend, in my opinion. I mean, you have a 5-2 Titans team who's actually been playing very well with Derrick Henry, and the Colts. They're at Indianapolis. I think the Tennessee Titans get it done. I know I like the Colts as well, but I don't know about Carson Wentz. I do know about Derrick Henry, though, and that man is a different breed. So I got the Tennessee Titans winning in this one.
Yeah, see, this is the battle of the running backs right here. I mean,
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor is probably like the best young running back to come out in several years, and he's almost like a Derrick Henry type runner, too.
Yeah.
Just big, physical. He catches the ball a little bit more out of the backfield. I like the Colts team. I loved them last year when they had their top 10 line. This year the line isn't exactly as good, but, you put the Colts up against the Titans. I don't trust the Titans' defense.
True.
I trust their offense no matter what. Derrick Henry is an absolute beast. And then, of course, you got Brown over there. And people sleep on Tannehill, too, but Tannehill's the man.
Yeah, he is.
Very mobile, gets a lot of yards with his legs, keeps plays alive. I think it's going to be a great game either way, but like you said, it's going to come down to the quarterback. Is Wentz going to make the mistake, or is Tannehill going to make the mistake?
There you go.
But I'm really interested in watching the running backs. I'm going to lean Colts in this game, though.
Okay. Yeah, it could go either way. I mean, you can't even say either one's wrong. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts win because Carson Wentz could very well come out and have a good game. That's just what Carson does. He either throws 2 interceptions or the last 5 games he's been playing well. So either one, couldn't go wrong.
All right, coming up next, Steelers taking on the Browns.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think this is the Case Keenum Browns now. I think Baker might not play this week. I'm not sure with that. Either way,
who cares?
I'm just not a fan of Ben Roethlisberger this year, especially last year. I mean, you saw his noodle arm last year. It's starting to go down. This year, the Pittsburgh Steelers, defensively, they've been okay, but they just haven't been able to find their groove offensively. Besides Najee, I like Najee Harris a lot, but I think the Browns get it done. Myles Garrett gets after Ben Roethlisberger's behind, and they cause some issues. I think it's in Cleveland as well, so it just depends. I mean, can Case Keenum play as well as he did last week? I mean, he did just enough. He kind of did his Baker Mayfield-esque game. He just was able to manage all the way to a victory, but can he do it this week against Ben Roethlisberger, who could very well come out and throw touchdowns? I don't know what Ben Roethlisberger we're getting. It's a tough one to call, but you know what? I'll stick with the Browns just because I like Kevin Stefanski. I like him a lot, so I'll go with him.
Yeah, I know what Ben Roethlisberger we're getting. Old, washed up, can't throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field, checks down to his running backs constantly, doesn't really hit his wide receivers. And I love the Steelers. Like, I was on the Steelers bandwagon last year, but this year they just don't have it. I do love Najee Harris, but then you go over to the Cleveland side, and it's like a MASH unit, man. All their running backs are out. All their wide receivers are injured. Baker Mayfield fell on his left shoulder and dislocated it. He's still playing, though, because he's tough, which you love, and, I don't know, man. This game is just like the battle of the beatens.
I think Nick Chubb's back too. He'll be playing. So they got that at least in the running game. Last week they had the second string of everything.
Demetric Felton, baby, and D'Ernest. Demetric and D'Ernest.
What a backfield.
Can you imagine going from Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to D'Ernest and Demetric?
It's still winning. It says a lot about the coaching staff. I mean, they did a good job.
Sure.
And the O-line. The O-line did work that game. But
but when in doubt, I like Mike Tomlin, even though he's had some, you don't want to say drama around him, but him talking about going to USC and taking that job. I love how he just brushed it off.
Never say never, but never.
Yeah, never say never, but never. I loved it. So I think they'll rally around Mike Tomlin. And, like you said, I love Najee Harris, too, man.
Guy's a beast.
And he's all they got, so they use him.
Both.
It's like the Saints and Alvin Kamara. They just, every play, going to Alvin Kamara. It's every play, going to Najee Harris.
He's a fantasy god if you have him. If you have him. But, yeah, I think I got the Browns winning. I don't know. It could go Steelers, though. This is one of those games. Like, the first two games, I don't know. It depends what Ben Roethlisberger we're seeing. And I'm just going to bet on the defense for the Browns. Maybe they get it done. So.
All right. Next, 49ers taking on the Bears, Jeff.
It's a weird one. I mean, you got Justin Fields, who hasn't been great. I mean, he obviously
trash.
He's been trash. That's a better word for it. Hasn't played
absolute trash.
I remember last week, Adam. His upset was the Bears in Tampa Bay, and I was like, I just couldn't see it. Anybody who plays against Tampa Bay as a rookie, especially, you're gonna have a bad game. He had 5 turnovers. I mean, it was absolutely horrible. But San Francisco 49ers. They got Jimmy G back. I think the 49ers get a win. I mean, it is in Soldier Field, but like I said, I don't know. Can Justin Fields come out and terrorize his 49ers secondary? I don't know. Probably not. So we're going with the 49ers for the win. I'm assuming you agree with me, Steve.
I do agree with you, mostly because I hate the Bears.
Yeah,
so,
who loves them?
F the Bears.
Screw the Bears.
To quote Isaac, F the Bears.
Yep.
But yeah, when I look at the Bears, I look at that offense. It's been putrid the past couple games. I mean, if you have Allen Robinson and you drafted him as one of your top wide receivers in fantasy football, you are absolutely blowing your head off right now. And I'm that guy. I have him on my team in my dynasty league, so I've had him for like 3 years. And this year, it's just been absolutely awful, and that's because quarterback play. Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. No. He's not going to be a good quarterback. Maz will argue with me all day long about Justin Fields, but this guy has come out and he's shown that he's worse than Jared Goff. I would rather have Goff. I would rather have Goff right now than Justin Fields.
You know what? Before the season, we did the NFC North quarterback rankings. I had him over Justin Fields, and Adam argued with me that Justin Fields was better. I was like, no way.
No.
And that was before the season. And now look at him. I mean, I don't know if he'll be a bad quarterback, but you know what? He's playing horrid. I can't argue with you. He'll be a good quarterback. So, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, he's young. He's still got time to grow. But in this moment,
he's horrible.
Right now, he is awful. It's like throwing me and you out there, bro.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. I mean, it's horrible.
Maybe they'll try that. I don't know.
And shout out to everybody in the chat right now. I see you and I miss you too.
Show Stick some love. I gotta love it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right. Well, next up, Pats taking on the Chargers. I think this should be a good game.
Yeah, good game. You got a Patriots defense who's been great at times, and then they come out against Dallas Cowboys. But Dallas Cowboys do have a great offense. But same with the Chargers. I mean, I think if Austin Eckler plays, which he is banged up a little bit, and I'm expecting him to play. I have him in fantasy. Crossing my fingers. If he plays, I think Justin Herbert. They're coming off a bad loss versus the Ravens. I think they come back and get a win versus the Patriots. I mean, Mac Jones had a great game last week. I mean, he had the pick 6, but then he came back. He let him down the field, and he still took the L. So you know what? I got the Chargers winning. I like Brandon Staley, and it is in LA. It's in SoFi Stadium. So I mean, I don't know if that's a home game because SoFi Stadium probably have a lot of Patriots fans there, but I believe in Justin Herbert. I think they pick up the win here.
Yeah, Justin Herbert's clearly the better quarterback, but you gotta love Mac Jones, man.
Yeah.
Coming out the dad bod god.
Mac Daddy.
You got all these running quarterbacks, ripped quarterbacks, and then this dude with a bag of milk body out there throwing for 3 touchdowns a game. But he looks great in a Patriots uniform.
Yep.
And that's the Patriot way. Steal that guy late in the draft. He's Mr. Fundamental. I'm not calling him Tom Brady, but
Tom Brady rocks the dad bod too.
Coming out, yeah. If you look back on Tom Brady's combine picture, oh my God,
I love
zero
that
muscle tone, zero athleticism.
He was the real stick.
Yeah.
The real stick.
Yeah.
Like he was straight up stick.
Yeah,
I mean, that guy was the skinniest man I've ever seen. But to Mac Jones' credit, the dad bod, man. I mean, the picture of him in Alabama smoking the cigar with the shirt off and his gut out. Patriots fell in love with him.
Mac Jones is the type of dude we're going to run into Saturday at the Michigan State game at a frat house. And it's going to be like, wait, you're going to be the next best NFL, better than Trevor Lawrence. You're going to be better than Justin Fields. You're going to be better than Trey Lance. Nobody predicted that except, of course, Bill Belichick. But with all that being said about how much I love Mac Jones, Chargers got this game.
Yeah.
All right, good way to end that one off. All right, next, Cowboys taking on the Vikings.
You know what? This could be upset alert. I honestly, the Vikings have been playing. I mean, they're 3-3, but there's a couple games that could have easily went their way. I mean, they missed a 35-yard field goal to lose to the Arizona Cardinals, and they're ever since then their offense has still been clicking. I don't know what Dallas Cowboys defense. They've been pretty good. They have a playmaker, Trayvon Diggs. He's got at least a pick in every game this season. But I think Minnesota, they keep this close. I could see both these teams getting 30-plus or at least like high 20s, 30s. I think Minnesota could get the win, but it's in Minnesota too. So you know what? I'm going Minnesota. I'm going bold pick. I think they get a win. They win by 3, maybe even a touchdown. It's gonna be close, but I think Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook runs all over him. So I got Minnesota.
See, this is all going to be predicated on what happens at Michigan State. If Michigan State wins, Kirk Cousins is going to be fired up. He's going to come out there on Sunday. And he's going to throw 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. If they lose, he's going to be all depressed. He's going to come out and throw like 150 and a touch.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That's Kirk Cousins in a nutshell. But honestly, I like the Cowboys in this game. That defense is
yeah, they're good.
What do you call it, Kennedy? Chef's kiss? That defense.
Yes.
Oh, that defense, man. And the way they've drafted it. I know we can sit here and complain about we took Okudah rounds before Diggs was off
We
the board.
already got into that
Okay,
today.
good,
How'd you
good.
know?
Well, then I'm glad that's covered because that's something that's going to hurt me till the end of time. So that's another one we can throw on the list of like Aaron Donald and other guys that we've passed on. But just overall, they brought in their new defensive coordinator, and it's totally changed everything in Dallas. Last year, they weren't really a respectable team on either side of the ball. That's why Dak Prescott early in the season last year had to throw for like 1,000 yards every game just to keep them competitive. And at the end of the day, he got hurt, and then that was their season because Andy Dalton came in and could not do it. But I love their defense this year. And to me, defense wins you championships.
Yeah, and if you could turn the ball over, I mean, if Trayvon Diggs can get you short field situations with that offense, they're
You think he's gonna have another pick this week? Like when does this streak stop?
I know
it's impossible.
I know he's tied or he's beat Charles Woodson through like 8 games or whatever, 7 games through his picks. Do you think he'll beat the record though? That's the question. You think he'll beat Night Train this record of what, like 13 or 14 interceptions? Like that's ridiculous.
I don't see that being humanly possible.
17
like,
games.
Last game was a gift. You know?
True.
But damn, man, like, could you imagine that guy being a Lion? And we're celebrating that type of streak right now.
That would be ridiculous.
Like, what's the best Lions cornerback you remember? Dre Bly?
Yeah, it's been a while. And you got a guy who has at least a pick in every game. Like Slay had the 8-pick season. He's had seasons like that, but holy cow, man! Like
Slay also, while he was here, was giving up 16 touchdowns a year too. So
I
only give up big play Slay is what I used to call him.
That's what it comes down to.
I know you love him, but he gave up a lot of big plays here in Detroit.
And that's kind of the Trayvon Diggs argument. Like he could turn the ball over, but there is times where he'll give up big plays. And you know what? It's kind of one of those things where you take Okudah, who really can't cover anybody and gives up big plays and doesn't turn the ball over. You got Trayvon, who's at least turning the ball over and gives up big plays. It's like, I'll go with that defense. I don't blame you for taking the Cowboys. They look good.
All right, next, Panthers taking on the Falcons.
This is like the poverty game. Listen, as much as I'm a Lions fan, I should not be saying that. But out of all the whole weekend, I'm not watching this game. Listen, you got the 3-3 Falcons versus the 3-4 Sam Darnold-led Panthers. And you know what? I like Kyle Pitts. I mean, he just had a great game last week.
This looks amazing. Number 2 tight end in fantasy.
Yeah, that is true. He's been balling, and I think the Falcons win. I mean, it's in Atlanta. I don't know about Sam Darnold. I mean, he had what? Like he got benched last week, so you know how that goes. If you get benched, you're coming out next week. He either number 1 comes out and torches the Atlanta and wins his starting job back, or he loses another game. So you know what? It's tough. I like Carolina's defense, though. You know what? I'm going with Carolina just because their defense. I just love their defense. I think they could literally carry Sam Darnold to a win. Couldn't say the same about the Falcons, so I'll go Carolina.
And you know if Sam Darnold can't play, that P.J. Walker, who kicked the Lions' ass last year, is going to come in, and he's a great quarterback according to what he did with us.
That is true.
No, I got one name for you to pay attention to in this game, and I absolutely love the season that this guy's having, Cordero Patterson. Like, the fact that this guy is the number 2 running back in the league and he wears an 80 number is amazing to me. He's lined up in the backfield. He's got 80 on his back, and he's leading in touchdowns. You know, he's up there in yardage. And I just love that out of Atlanta and their offense and how they're able to adjust. And like you said, they moved on from Julio Jones. They brought in a Kyle Pitts who's been on absolute fire the last 2 games. I think he had like 9 catches and like 130 yards last game, something like that. And he just looks bigger and better than everybody else. So I like Atlanta in this game. I like their offense. And yeah, to me, when you look at Carolina, they're just in trouble, man.
Yeah,
when you're relying on your quarterback to be the leading rusher and to get you all your rushing touchdowns, and it's a slow white dude like me, it never works out well. It really doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't last very long. And you know what? The Falcons defensively, I have a lot of questions about them, but I don't know. Sam Darnold, it's Sam Darnold. Like you said, this game's hard to call as well. I mean, it's in Atlanta as well, so you know Kyle Pitts could very well torch this defense again. So we'll see. It's going to be a good one.
The last game I want to touch on, mostly because Patrick Mahomes is my fantasy quarterback. All right, the Chiefs taking on the Giants.
You know what? I think the Giants cover this game. I mean, I think they score at least 20 points in this game just because the Kansas City's defense has been historically bad. Like, I'm talking historically. Like, we could make fun of the Lions' defense last year. I mean, the Kansas City defense has probably employees at Woodward Sports on part of that linebacker core. Like, it's bad. They can't cover anybody. They can't stop anybody. And I don't know. Daniel Jones, I got him in fantasy. I'm starting him this week. Lamar's on a bye. So I'm expecting this man. Maybe I'm biased, but I'm expecting this man to get in at least once with his legs. So, you know what? I think Kansas City wins, but the Giants make it actually closer than people think. I think the Kansas City wins by, 10, maybe 7, 10 points. I think they get it done.
If Kansas City doesn't win, they should just pack it up, call it a season.
Yeah.
And
Start Chad Henne.
We've talked about this. Yeah, anything is possible. He got the playoff win last year, man.
Yes, sir.
No, but we've talked about this. The fall from grace for the Kansas City Chiefs has been outstanding. And not only the fall from grace for them, but in particular Patrick Mahomes.
Ouch.
Like, you go back to last year in the Super Bowl, he's taking on Tom Brady. He's going to be the youngest to win 2 Super Bowls. He's going to end the GOAT's run. You know, he's going to be the king of the mountaintop. They lose that game, and now you're looking at this guy like, man, is he even a top 10 quarterback right now? Which sounds so stupid to say about Patrick freaking Mahomes, but that's the reality of the situation. So it's so crazy to me that literally earlier this year in February, he could have been he was put on the GOAT cover of Madden.
Yeah, he was.
That's why I said Madden jumped the gun on that bad boy.
Yeah, and that's how much they loved him and how much they revered him. And now it's crazy what has happened to Patrick Mahomes. So in this game, the Chiefs have to win. They have to. If they lose to the Giants, like I said, it's over.
Just pack it up.
Yeah, just don't get injured anymore. Play your backups. You know, start the rebuild.
Yep. And the Kansas City Chiefs have been in the market for a defensive player. I mean, they need that if they want to win any games. But to your point, like Patrick Mahomes, it almost seems like Tom Brady broke him, and it's like, or at least that defense broke him in the Super Bowl. Like ever since he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off this season, man. I mean, maybe it's overcompensating for your bad defense. I don't know what it is, but he's not been playing good. So I mean, you're spot on with it.
All right, you guys, we got to get out of here. Up next, our Halloween weekend's best bets. You'll hear from Adam. You'll hear from Jeff. You might hear from myself. We'll see. I'm not sold. Thank you, Fish. But before we go, Jeff, the man with the best hair in the room, where do you get it done?
Listen, Lady Jane's, they'll take care of you. And guys, let's be honest, you come over, you need a haircut. I know a lot of you guys watching this need a haircut. And you go to Lady Jane's, you walk in, they're open every day of the week, 10 to 8. And you come in and sit down in one of these comfy chairs, the ladies will take care of you. You get to watch your favorite sports teams on the multiple televisions in any Lady Jane's location. And you come in, listen, you walk in anytime, and then when you walk out, you're handsome and clean. So Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime because it is wicked awesome.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
You'll be dying to get your hands on Papa Romano's gruesome twosome. This spectacular deal gets you 2 large one-topping pizzas for a limited time for $19.99. Order now at paparomanos.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for taking time out of your Friday to hang out with us right here on the Morning Woodward Show. You guys, our Halloween weekend's best bets. We got you guys covered. Let's start with our man that can just finally now bet. Jeff, give me one of your bets for the weekend.
All right, I'm going UFC because there is a fight on this card that I am a fan of. And you know what? This might be a little biased to me, but I'm a fan of Corey Sandhagen. He's taking on Peter Yan. It's kind of the interim title belt. Aljamain Sterling's out with an injury. I think the money line, I mean, it has Peter Yan favored minus 210. You know what? It's tough, but I would throw some money on Sandhagen. He's plus 170. This is a guy who's a fantastic striker, and he got taken out a bunch of times versus TJ Dillashaw, and he's going to correct those mistakes. Hopefully, Peter Yan's a beast, going to get him to the ground, but I'm hoping Sandhagen just picks him apart on the ground or on his feet and gets a win. So if you have some money to throw on, you throw some money on Corey Sandhagen in the UFC because I like his chances in this fight. So that's my first bet.
All right, perfect. I've got 5 bets for you guys. Lock them in. And
lock them.
Saddle in. Put your seatbelt on. Get ready. These are I think my favorite 5 games I've ever bet on in a while. I'm probably going to parlay all these together. That's how confident I am in each individual one. We're going to start with college football. Michigan, 3.5 points. Give me it all day long. I already predicted early on in the show. 24-20 my score for the Michigan game. I think they win by 4 to 6 points. That's the margin of victory. I'll take Michigan to win and take the points on it over the money line all day long. Next game, I'm taking the points in the NFL. The Los Angeles Rams, 14.5 point favorites, coming off a week where they were 16.5 point favorites against the Lions. They didn't get it done this week. I expect them to cover and really handle business against the Houston Texans. Moving on, first underdog pick of the weekend. The Washington football team will upset the Denver Broncos. Take the Washington football team at plus 152. I love it. I think Washington are the better football team, more complete. I think the quarterback situations for both teams are kind of unpredictable. I'll take Taylor Heineke and, hopefully a healthy Antonio Gibson. But even if he's not available, I know they have J.D. McKissick. He's a good comparable back. And then, of course, you have Terry McLaurin. I think Washington pulls this away, and I like their defensive front, Jeff. Moving on, Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. I'm not taking the money line. I'm not taking the spread. I am taking the over in this football game. It's set pretty low, 42.5. I understand Case Keenum is at quarterback, but I just think that's too low of a number. For me, this game is a 23-20, 27-20 game. I'm taking the over at 42.5 between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And finally, the team that's lost 4 straight football games will now go to Atlanta and get their 4th win of the season and improve to 4-4. I'm going to take Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers to beat the Atlanta Falcons on the money line at plus 140, my second underdog pick of the week. I love them. Those are my 5 bets. I am so excited for this weekend.
Yeah, they're solid. I love the Washington football. I mean, you kind of were spot on right there. I mean, listen, Denver, say what you want about them. I know I still mention this because it ticks me off. A lot of people had this team in their top 4, top 5 to begin the season. What were they, 3-0? And I don't know. Looking back on it right now, Taylor Heineke, I kind of like Taylor Heineke. You know what? That guy can get streaky at times, so I like the bet. I would take the Washington bet. I'm 21 now, so you know what? Maybe I will.
I'm proud of you, Jeff. And the whole Peter, that whole division is dumb. I hate it. Because that guy shouldn't even be champion.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know everything about the UFC.
He knows.
But I keep up with a lot of things. All I know is that bum, what is it, Sterling?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say his first name.
That
guy got KO'd.
Yeah.
And was crowned champion.
Yeah.
That is one of the most... I don't care about the rules, actually, to be frank. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life in a combat sport. That guy should not be champion. He should be ashamed to even wear that belt. He should have handed it in and gotten a rematch because he was losing that fight and didn't deserve to be champion. He can fall off a cliff along with Jared Goff, and I'd be just happy.
Hey, you know what I'll add too? Listen, Detroit Lions are plus 160 on the money line.
You can't. Look, guys. Jeff, don't do it. Look, guys, if there's one thing...
10-7!
As a betting man, and I bet, a good portion of my money.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
I avoid betting on the Lions.
Yeah, I'm not doing
Guys, trust me on this.
Okay.
You don't want to bet against them. You don't want to bet for them.
Nope.
Because it's going to break your heart either way. Because if you bet for them to lose and they lose, you win some money, but they lost.
Right.
And if you bet for them to win and they lose, you're pissed both ways.
Yeah.
Not worth the risk, guys. I avoid betting on the Lions. Don't do it.
That's why you need Daddy Adam to help you out. You know what I mean?
Bet anything else, guys. You want to bet underdogs this week? Go bet the Washington football team and the Carolina Panthers. Those are the 2 dogs for you to pick this week.
All right, well,
Cool.
I have one, obviously. Notre Dame taking on North Carolina.
Nobody cares about Notre Dame.
Listen.
They do when
Notre
they
Dame
wow
is
you.
only a 3.5-point favorite. Take Notre Dame to cover. Take the under. It's set at 62.
Who are they playing? North Carolina?
Yes.
Yes, Tar Heels.
With Sam Howell?
Yes.
That's my lock of the freaking weekend. North Carolina to beat Notre Dame.
It
I'm
is.
done.
Not happening.
I'm
Anyway,
done.
take-
North Carolina
take
to
the
beat
under,
Notre Dame. Book it.
Sam Howell
Book
doesn't
it.
have any pieces around him.
Notre
They're not
Dame
gonna
doesn't
hit
have
the over.
a school.
And bet Notre Dame money line. Period. And that's not just my fandom. That's
like that
truly what
bet.
I think is going to happen. But anyway, you guys, going into the weekend, I got to tell you what to do. Tonight, we've got Friday Night Clash, round 1 of the state playoffs, Wild Lake Western at White Lake Lakeland. Of course, we've got the halftime kick to win $10,000. So come out and join us there. If you can't make it, we will be streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at 9 p.m. Make sure you're tapped in for that. And then, of course, tomorrow, yes, tomorrow is Saturday, Woodward Sports will be live from East Lansing at Hopcat. Stick and Anson are holding down the fort 10 a.m. to noon. There's Bloody Mary specials, giveaways, and more. Thanks to our friends at Gypsy Vodka. So make sure you come out for the Michigan State game and hang out with us. All right, you guys, that is all from me. Have such a great Halloween weekend. Big D Energy coming up next, Squad Deep with Neil Rule and D-Mac. This has been the Morning Woodward Show. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We will see you on Monday.